I don't like killing characters. That's not what this is about. Like, if you're a DM and you like killing
Okay.
characters, it's silly because you could just kill characters. Like, I like presenting situations that are very difficult and seeing people overcome them. So, if anything, I would be like Jigsaw, and he's a nice guy. So, no, but I would, yeah, I'd wait till my character was like 5 or 6 before I commissioned any art for him. I would be too scared as a player to,
Wait, do log
because
click
even
too?
even with normal ass rules, with nothing special at all, like a single critical hit could kill you in one shot if it got max damage or whatever. So it's a little scary, but maybe the universe will say, this woman's got brass balls, so we're not going to touch this character, and that would be amazing. Yeah.
Play.
All right. So let's see.
I don't know. After my like unkillable character died, I'm kind of just like it could happen anytime. You know?
I was surprised when I think I was surprised because I still couldn't comprehend that half the party was hiding in the hallway. Like, because like mathematically, I was like, these guys can handle this, and then like half the party just hid in the hallway, and I was like, oh, I guess maybe not. Oh my god. Yeah. But I was thinking about that, like some of the fights where it's supposed to just be a normal fight end up being like one of the hardest fights of the campaign, and then like the big fight, the BBEG fight, ends up being pretty manageable compared to some of the ones that sort of blindside you. So it's very interesting, but that's RNG in general.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
It's a lot of it's RNG for sure. And then
yeah.
another big part of it is just like, man, like normal encounters just playing with you at least scare the fuck out of people. Like, like no one ever feels safe.
Oh
so,
man,
so I no, I think it's a great thing. Like, but because of that, like some people they play really cowardly. You know, like
fear is the killer. Honest to God, like uh, you have to believe in the math. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you have to be able to look at your sheet and know that like I've got this, we've got this kind of thing. But yeah, like a lot of times fear will take over, and oof, then it's just it doesn't matter what you're fighting. If you're
yeah.
too scared, if you're too scared to act or think rationally, yeah, any fight can be super deadly.
The
So
Then
worst, the
on
worst
the
part
flip side,
about the whole fear thing is that like it normally doesn't kill like the afraid person's character, you know?
oh, exactly, yeah.
Like it's like they survive and they feel like they're doing it right, you know? Like
Well, Friday night, they had the Storm King's Thunder is just the whole point is to be terrifying because there's giants everywhere,
yeah.
and they had a random encounter with like they're only level 5, 4 winter wolves and like 2 frost giants. Oh, and 10 other wolves that the 4 winter wolves had subjugated or whatever, and they were obviously like, we're not going to fight these guys, we're going to run away. And like it was looking like 1 or 2 of them was going to get left behind, and they did not leave the people behind. And it was so like uplifting for me because I've seen so many people
Just
like
go through the
left,
mausoleum abandoned by their teammates,
yeah,
abandoned by their allies. Like it's all
just
over the place.
left for dead. I was like, oh man, I wonder what this new character is going to look like. And they were like, no, nobody's getting left behind. And it was so good. It was such a good session.
I'm really happy though, like with this group though. Except for one player that's no longer playing.
Mm.
But like
Well,
everyone here is like
you only
pretty
have to
brave.
deal with them on Mondays now. So
Oh yeah, no, 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 it's not
yeah.
worrying.
All right.
I
So
mean, brave though. Alvis, the only time I moved forward bravely.
You did shit though, and you're playing a wizard. Like,
and now you're playing a diviner with only one eye. Do you know the greatest diviner of all time only has one eye?
Oh, I
Odin.
am so Odin. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's do this shit. All right. So, was a new person. You'll find him very quickly. There were also other people that you need to rescue. I've already worked them into the plot, depending on what you do with them. Very much like just like any video game where you can choose the Paragon or the Renegade path. So there's outcomes for whatever decision you decide. But to catch y'all up real quick, you were doing work for the Loyalist of Saltmarsh. You had some feels maybe about where Ida Owland and Gellin Primewater
Oh,
stand
didn't you get
on
Malcolm?
who what?
He did it. He was great. I don't know. It was very weird.
Both there.
Seems to be.
All right.
I put Giorgio on the bed.
All right. So we're gonna mute them. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you guys were doing work for the Saltmarsh Loyalist. They told you to kind of they'd get back to you in a few days because they want to go over the evidence that you found at the House of Crawls. You did a great number of things during your time off, including murder somebody and then frame that somebody for other murders. And then decided to track down some easy money by hunting down some Knoll bandits. Backtracking the Knoll bandits, you found out that there was a lot more to them than just them being bandits. And you discovered a ruined fortress in the swamp. You performed a pretty slick infiltration and attack on the facility, killing what you believe to be all the cultists that are there. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure that catches us up. So you got a few outstanding quests that you may or may not follow up on. But for now, let's jump back into the swamp ruins and figure out what to do next.
First things first, I want to loot all these bodies for their guns.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Didn't you say you were gonna compile loot based on our passive perceptions?
Oh man, that would have been an amazing thing for me to have done if I did that. That would be amazing. Yeah,
We'll do it live.
that definitely sounds like the kind of thing that I would say in the moment, for sure. So yeah, let me go ahead and grab that list for you.
Crash, you're slipping, man. I gotta tell you. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest with you. You also promised us a updated followers list in Scales of War.
there's plenty of time for that. That game's not till tomorrow. Um, where is it? Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So, all right, you guys are here. Let's see. Okay. Why don't you, as you guys are checking around and all that, and I'm grabbing this list for you, discuss your next move, and also you've got two, possibly more prisoners. You've got a weird shrine. You've got all that stuff. So lots to think about.
Are these two dudes here or are they NPCs?
No, they are NPCs.
Oh, oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Mm.
I mean, clearly
Are they
they'll
like
have
locked
someone who
up
cares
or
about them who will pay for their return.
Mm.
are they like locked up?
Yeah, I think they're in
Yeah, they
cages.
are. They are manacled. They are chained and manacled. Um, the one
they-
guy, for whatever reason, he had like a ball gag situation on, but he managed to get it out. The other guy, the Dragonborn, has like a weird muzzle on his mouth to kind of keep him from opening his mouth.
Okay. Jenna's gonna go up to them and remove the uh muzzle.
Okay.
That guy.
All right. He kind of immediately kind of opens his mouth wide, like almost like alligator style. You can kind of see his many teeth and uh, his tongue kind of dryly licking at his teeth and his mouth, and he kind of opens and closes his mouth a few times, and he says, "Thank you." Ugh. Ugh. They had me muzzled because I kept breathing on them with my breath weapon.
Oh, that's nice. Why do they capture you? What are you doing here?
Oh, he kind of eyes you, and says, "Let me roll a insight check. Um, would you please give me a deception check to see if you can poker face whatever persona you're trying to convey to this guy?"
Yep. Net 20.
All
Damn, should
right.
have started the game
What are you
off
trying to
good.
what are you trying to present to this guy?
I'm trying to present like an aura of like power, like something like you just got saved by like my grace type situation. Um, and clearly like something's gonna be expected for us to let him go.
Mm, okay. Yeah, he narrows his eyes and he says, "I was a traveler on the road heading to the town of Saltmarsh. I was captured by gnolls and brought here."
What have they done to you or with you? Seems kind of weird that they would just lock you up in their room of operations.
They have taken blood. Um, they have taken scales. Uh, they took my things, stripped me down, chained me up, muzzled me like a beast. I I was sure that my fate would be quite gruesome. And he looks over at the snake that is super busted, its head blown open by gunshots, its body sort of hacked to pieces on the ground.
Well, it seems your luck may have turned. I'll be honest with you, we didn't expect to find anyone when we decided to take this keep, but
Now, there were three of us still alive, I believe. Myself, the half breed over there, and another half breed. They were, from what I understand, sending someplace else. He's probably in the back room.
was that the one that was in the cage outside yesterday evening?
Perhaps, I'm not sure.
I see. So you say you're a traveler. What is your trade? Are you an adventurer?
I am a diplomat.
A diplomat, you say? What is your name?
I am called Ferios.
Varios. And what type of diplomacy work have you done? Are you skilled?
I work currently for the Lords of Daggerford. I was being sent to Saltmarsh to try to grease the wheels of diplomacy.
Oh, so you're with the Lord's Alliance, I see.
The people of Saltmarsh have been very obdurate about change and assistance.
And is that what you wish to see them change?
I wish to complete my contract.
And you? Jenna looks at the red one with the rather nice facial hair for being a prisoner. And she says to him, "What is it you do? Why are you here?"
Oh, me? I'm just a simple minstrel. I was also traveling the roads, same trade caravan that Farios was with. We were taken, uh, like he says, by the gnolls. There were others, guards, but they were cut down, shot down, and eaten by the gnolls and their strange dogs, hyenas, I believe.
I see. And do you have work right now?
Uh, I thought I'd try my hand at sailing. Life on land was growing too dull, so I figured Saltmarsh might be a great place to set out from. Daggerford, there's um he kind of eyes Farios and says, "They keep a closer eye on the comings and goings of people."
Well, I'm looking to put together a crew to do just that, to sail.
You have
How
a
do you
ship
feel about?
then.
Well, I'll get a ship. As you can see, we're quite capable.
Wow, this is quite the job interview. I'm rescued like a Dane in distress and then offered a job on a ship that doesn't exist yet. But I am in your debt, so I will highly consider it.
My crew will need morale, and you'll give it to them. You think you could do that?
Sure. Where are we right now? I guess is a good question. I had a sack thrown over my head. Farios had a sack too, and he burned through it with acid, so they kept clubbing him on the back of the head. I'm sure those concussions are not going to help you uh, down the line, my friend. And Farios kind of makes a grunt and kind of reaches his shackled hands up and rubs his head a little bit. But yeah, if you could tell me where we are, if you could get me to, I mean, are we anywhere near Saltmarsh anymore?
We're about 7 hours out, 6, 7 hours. We're in the
Ah,
swamps to the east.
I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to impose, but is there any chance that you could just take us the rest of the way?
Yes, we may be able to take you, but nothing
I
is
don't
free.
suppose it would be even more rude or imposing, but is there any chance that we could have our equipment back? Um, we're sort of just in our underwear here.
Um,
And he
just one
eyes
moment.
you, Jenna, and he says, "But if that's what milady would like, then I'll stay in my underwear."
I enjoy all means of entertainment, thank you, sir. But for now, we'll find you some clothes.
I can't tell that was shade or not.
Um, Jenna kind of ushers everyone out of the room to come talk privately together.
Okay.
Uh,
And as she's walking out, she says, "We'll find you some clothes." And if they say anything like, "What about these chains?" she's just gonna keep walking.
All right. Okay. So you guys kind of gather up as you're continuing to scavenge stuff.
Um, I believe we may have use for the minstrel, but the diplomat, he's with the Lord's Alliance. I'm not sure how deep his loyalties are, but
Yeah, we could potentially offer him something to just go away.
I mean,
or
we could just kill him and take the bard. I don't
I mean, we
mind.
could. We could. We really
or we
could.
could just let him go back to town, and he gives the Lord's Alliance a good put in a good word for us with them.
I don't quite care for the Lord's Alliance opinion to me.
But they have gold. Returning one of their
Elusive.
diplomats may
Yes,
be worth something.
I thought the
I suppose
point of us
that
was
is
to
true.
play all the sides that we could, Miss Jenna. We play the Zentarum, we play the old lady, and then we play the Lord's Alliance. And this Dragonborn,
But,
it
well, for this, we were gonna go back to Prime Water and let him take kind of the coup
Yes.
of destroying the Scarlet Brotherhood. And if we
Yes.
return the dude with that.
Yes. I'm quite sure that Prime Water will be very pleased with what we've done here, and I do feel that we don't need any blabby mouths, you know.
uh okay. I mean, do we just execute him in front of the bard, or how do we do this?
That would probably be easiest.
Yes.
Ruda, can
We
you
could also
Yeah, I
could
checked
help
my
also help
weapon.
us figure out how dirty this bard's willing to work.
Yeah.
Check my
We could have
ammo.
the bard execute him, prove his loyalty.
Yeah,
Huh.
but that could go south. We
That's
probably
like
need to surprise this guy.
that's like really gang violence. Prove your worth, boy. uh, double check my
I need
ammo.
I need those that are loyal.
While you
sure
guys have continued to explore, there is a back room behind the chapel, as it were, and in that back room is a half orc. The half orc. Why don't we get an establishing shot from the half orc's player? What would they see when they see the half orc?
They would see a orc of not the tallest orc you've ever seen, but a tall orc, a wiry fellow. He cares for his appearance. He has a wonderful mustache. Just very plainly when he is dressed, but he is, as you say, down to his skivvies at this point. He has long flowing locks, rings in his ears, gray skin. Gag in his mouth.
Does
All right,
he
it-
look strong? What's his physique look like?
Yeah, what's his physique look like?
Jen is thirsty.
Hey.
I mean, he
He
says
is
the wrong thing. He may be
but
dead.
not overly bulky like most orcs. He has a wiry frame. Tall and with great reach of his arms.
If he's like gagged, Jenna would remove the gag.
Okay.
Thank you. Madre de Dios. These bastards thought they could pull one over on me.
It seems
But
like they
I
did.
thank you for agreeing.
Yeah.
I am new to these parts. I
mean,
thought
you're
they
not-
were. I didn't realize they were cultists.
Yes, we're finding more and more about them ourselves. What is it that you do? Do you have a profession?
And of many skills, I go where the work takes me. I am a fighter by trade. That is where I excelled, and that's how I fell in with these lot. They needed someone to, they said, and maintain order, but I am much more than that.
Master of battle, Will.
Indeed. I have studied many years, and I could be an asset to your group. I'm saying thank you for freeing me from captivity.
Oh, so you're looking for work?
Absolutely. Gold is the currency of the realm.
I mean, we did just free you, but I did recently lose some muscle.
I like him.
I feel that this would be the perfect time for me to join your group.
Um,
And I will join you.
um, uh, um.
Yeah, what's up?
How did you get here?
I came here by way of Saltmarsh. I came from over the seas, came to seek my fortune.
No. How did you get here with the nose and the cultists?
We're looking for leg breakers, heavies. Being an orc, everyone assumes I'm there to snap necks and drool on people. But work is work. But as soon as I found out they were looking to sacrifice people, that I do not like that. My concerns, and of course, they strip me of, they jump me, beat me, strip me of my clothes, and tie me up.
Oh, you were working with the Brotherhood.
Did not know they were the Brotherhood at the time.
Do you
Just said they
know?
needed mercenaries.
Have
Someone
they
to
done
keep
anything
on
to
the
you,
face.
to your body? Performed experiments, extracted blood?
Oh, I was not their prime suspect. They beat me up and gagged me when I turned against them. I do not like these experiments, as you say.
Where did this sacrifice that they wanted to do you happen at?
Sorry, what do you say?
Like, is there like a sacrifice room or a sacrificial chamber or something? Or
I think it's the one we killed them all in.
oh, is this it right here? I guess so.
I
That,
see,
that makes
yes.
sense. Yeah. Yeah, you got the skull and whatnot, and whole ambiance of the whole place seems like very quite sacrificial. I can see that.
Crash, I don't suppose there's like obvious gem eyes on that altar statue or anything like that.
No, but a knowledge religion or a knowledge arcana check could tell you a little bit more about it.
I could assist him.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Pietro,
did it.
am I pronouncing it right? Pietro?
Hey,
Okay. You you worked for Yuanti, who's now dead, named Vilsar. So Vilsar is the cobra-headed dude right here that has since been disposed of.
there
Yeah,
are
brains
many.
is blast out.
What happened?
Brain is blast out. That shot him in the head. Got a
Oh yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah. He's pretty messed up. Yeah. So Vilsar was the, I guess, the boss of this operation, some sort of spellcaster, and yeah, when you kind of confronted him about the actual summoning of demons and all of that, he basically told you to get on board or uh, get fucked. So when you didn't want to get on board, that's exactly what went down. It was basically you against a dozen people or so, maybe more. I would assume you probably took a couple of them out before they took you down. But knowing some of the stuff now that they have been getting up to, it is fortuitous that you have been rescued from whatever fate they had in store for you. You were actually being kept in the giant snake's lair as sort of an extra precaution. So up until up until a few minutes ago, you were actually um, tied up and restrained, and then had a giant snake coiled around you for good measure. So they definitely viewed you as a dangerous individual, but still opted to keep you alive, which would probably be disconcerting. Like generally, if you are a threat and people still keep you alive, they have plans for you. So
So you are a sellsword. I understand that you weren't on board with what they were doing, but what if we asked you to do something, say, morally gray, or
What are
let's
you going
just
to
be
pay me?
honest, straight black? Um, would you betray us? Would you?
Only if you give me cause to, but I mean, at this point, I have no bone to pick with you. You have saved my life. I was but a few minutes ago.
So if I handed you this, if I set you free and I handed you this dagger, and I asked you to go in the other room there and slit that dragonborn's neck, would you do it?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Jenna is gonna start setting him free, and she's gonna hand him a dagger.
okay.
If anyone
Agent,
doesn't want him to slit the throat, you can say something.
I mean, Alvis's only opinion on it is that I still think he might be worth money.
Um, you guys can do sort of a either perception or an insight on Farios if you'd like, to see if you can sort of discern more about him. Same deal as anybody that's getting sized up. He will try his best to present the look that he wants.
Okay.
Yeah, Garuda. Something about this straight backs, which that's like I guess that's like an Arakara racial slur against non-Arakara. But something about this straight back, he has sort of a noble bearing. Like he carries himself with a lot of confidence, a lot of poise. His eyes, small, yellow, and bright, seem to take in everything around him and sort of store that away. So he definitely comes across as a intelligent, um, well mannered, well presented individual. So that kind of leads you to think he might be of noble bearing. Alvis, as you examine the shrine, lots of runes in Abyssal. Do you speak Abyssal?
I do not.
Okay. You get the feeling that this is less of a religious situation and more of a dark magic warlock demonology situation. This little shrine that they've set up. At one time, this temple might have served some other deity or purpose, because the stone skull that is carved into the wall here is a part of the natural stone of the building. So it's been here as long as the building has. It's not like they came in and were like, all right, we've got to like evil this place up. Let's throw a giant skull in here and all that kind of stuff. So definitely this place was never a good place.
I'll
To be sure.
Now, considering my wounds and stuff,
Mhm.
I'm gonna suggest this might take far longer than normal, but I'm going to set up my ritual materials for a detect magic while they're deciding whether they're gonna murder or not. But rather than the 10 minutes, I'm gonna assume it takes me like at least twice as long because I'm a little distracted, and I can't see out of one of my eyes, which is still something I'm getting used to.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're in a tremendous amount of pain on top of that.
Yeah. Pain is life. This is never not in pain. This is a lot more pain. Also, my face. My face is gone. Half of it.
Yeah. It's bad. Like
That's
yeah.
Oh, and he literally isn't covering his wound or anything. He's just letting it all seep out. Like it's just he doesn't
Oh, that's gross.
actually do the things you would normally expect someone to do when they're wounded.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Crash, question.
Sure.
Can I go search for like a secret treasure room?
The most secret room was the room that contained this here
Or
orc. Yeah. And it was in there that you did find essentially all the loot that I'm about to send you the link for.
okay, dope. Okay, I'm good with
Yeah.
that. Well, well, Jenna, I think the Dragonborn is probably noble or something.
Mm.
If you want
Oh,
to kill
no.
him, we can.
Nobility
But
means value, right?
yeah, I feel like we could get some value off of him. Again, if you want to kill him, I am okay for that too. One less person we got to worry about telling the city what we did and who we are.
And he's a dragonborn, and I'm worried about getting him back to Saltmarsh without him killing us.
You think he would kill us after we saved his life? He has no reason to assume that we have ill intent towards him. We
Yeah,
simply said we were gonna go find him some clothes.
yeah.
I just, I don't want him going blabby. Speaking
Yeah.
of what we've done here, though I'm pretty sure, his life is very worth his silence.
But what we've done here is nothing murdery. So
Well,
not.
no. What I'm basically, Garuda, what I'm getting at is I'm saying that we want the loyalists, not the Knights Guard or anything, to announce our our victory and our triumphs here today. It shall be done in the name of those who we owe favors to and those who will pay us.
And I suppose we could give the dragonborn to Prime Water as well for
Yes,
him to
I'm.
ransom.
Yeah, I'm quite sure Prime Water could handle it very well. We
Okay.
could just simply take him back with us. Tell him that that we'd like him to stay with us until we get to town, and to come with us. Get him a meal or something, something the good people like to do. And then,
Anticipating more gold in our pockets along that course of action, Albus is going to be like, "Yeah, do that," and then go back to his ritual.
yes, I don't. I know you all have seen me. I did get most of you to assist me in that slight murder, but I don't seek needless killing. I seek power.
Yeah, about that. Albus pipes up from his little mat again. What's with the? I guess they wouldn't know the word recording in this term. What's with the image of the murder? Why'd you do that?
What image?
Yeah, with the goggles.
I'm
Wait,
I'm
what?
sorry. I don't know what you're talking about.
The the dark vision goggles. They're able to capture what one sees. Upper left.
Those were locks,
Who has the
correct?
goggles?
Oh,
Is
how well do you know him?
Put them in a bag. I'm pretty sure those were locks. I wouldn't be surprised if the Zentarum gave them to him to
spy on
keep
us?
tabs on us.
Yep. Who
Who
has the
the
goddamn
Zentarum needed.
goggles?
So at this point, Locke or not Locke, Albus is going to explain what those goggles actually do. And I haven't figured out all the mechanics of it yet, but your little excursion on the cliffside was captured in great detail by whoever was wearing those goggles at the time. Great detail. Faces are clear. Actions are clear. I could probably remove the images given enough time, but you'll have to leave the goggles with me.
Do you know if the images are specifically in the goggles or do they transmit elsewhere?
That's what I'll need time to determine.
Can I take a look at them myself? I too know of the arcane.
Did you wear them at all when that first night when we were all sharing them?
No, I never wore them. I didn't
Ah,
stand watch. I'm not quite perceptive.
clearly you had somebody recording your every movement and you didn't even know. Yeah, Alvis will.
I mean, anything
He-
the Zentarum do won't surprise me.
I'll shrug and I'll toss you the goggles, and then I'll go back to my ritual, which I probably have to start over now.
Um,
I'm not even. Oh, and Elvis isn't even sure he'll be able to see the image anymore because missing his left eye and the thing being on the left side of the goggles, I might not even be able to see it any longer.
Crash, can I inspect the goggles to see if I can discern what they do for myself?
Yeah, you can attempt a Arcana check on him. A identify spell would be the best thing for it, obviously, but
I've got
certainly.
that too.
Oh, you have identify. I have a pearl. I don't quite have the spell yet, though.
I mean, it'll take me time, and I'll just motion to my ritual mat, like, and shrug as if just another thing on the to-do list.
Yeah, the whole time his face is just seeping blood, like his
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah, his shirt, his armor, his the left side of his body, his shoulders. They're
Is
just
anybody proficient in medicine?
glistening with blood.
No, I
We'll
am
raise
not.
my eyebrow at him and be like, do you want somebody to take care of that? I hear bards are sometimes good at helping injured people.
Ooh, no. Don't. I don't think that's a good idea. I would prefer the bard owe us, if you know what I
Mm,
mean.
I suppose so. Just it's gonna scar there, bud.
I used this healer's kit. He's not He's not dying. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Okay.
Hey, Crash.
I'll grin, and
Yeah,
remembering half my face
Jenna
is gone,
says
it's like,
this, and you guys are just watching like swamp bugs, like alight on his like mangled flesh and take nibbles and fly off, and yeah, he's looking great.
After going to pointedly look at something else.
Yeah,
Is it cool if I take a short rest while we're all talking and they're
yeah,
all talking?
sure.
Yeah.
I posted up the link for the loots also.
I'm gonna take a short rest now while this is being explained.
In
then.
addition to everything I
Yeah.
have listed there, there's also Pietro's gear, in addition to the things that are in that document. So whether or not he has redistributed that same gear, either way, his gear has entered play, such as it were.
Also identify this amulet if you can, Albus.
Yeah. So I'll
In this ring here, and
basically set whatever you want on the mat, and he'll get to it, I guess.
Jenna's gonna cast detect magic, and then she's gonna just put all of the magical stuff next to Albus.
Not at the moment, I don't.
So are the only things that are magical, what say magical, that are prefaced with magical on the list?
Correct.
Okay. Yep, so
I make the assumption with 15
Yeah,
wizards
two
in the
wizards.
party, yeah, that I just need to flag that stuff right away.
Yeah, so she'll get put the ring and the amulet next to.
Do you want the identified items publicly or privately identifier?
I mean, the nature of this group, I think private first,
Okay.
and especially with the those goggles. But
Okay.
Albus is in a strange, very open.
All right. So the amulet is that.
Oh, that's actually pretty good for.
Yeah.
So for the amulet, Albus will just say, and this is ironic because he seems completely disinterested in it despite his current condition. And he goes, this helps with wounds healing. You attune to this, and otherwise fatal wounds may automatically stabilize, and you heal faster when you rest. And I'll kind of just toss it to the side as if it's completely worthless.
Well, perhaps you should put it on. Look at you. I'm just kidding. You're pretty.
I was gonna
So
say,
pretty.
like, when you say that, it's like his one eye just like alights on you and stays on you, and he goes, "What's that mean?"
You're still pretty. Just as, if not prettier, you're kind of devilish now.
He'll have like a smug grin. He's like, "Yeah."
If you guys are alright with this, I want to take all the weapons and all the guns and the ammo and powder. So. there's
Okay.
8
Keep in
ASP
mind,
pistols.
Lydia is not here to carry your burdens.
Oof,
So,
yeah.
yeah, encumbrance is a thing.
We don't have lock anymore.
And Jenna's gonna take the signet ring of Furios's, and she's just gonna stash it.
During this time, Afra has been sitting around munching on apples and halfling Gouda, which sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little cheese and apples would be a good snack.
That actually sounds like delicious. Afra's clearly got the like post battle ritual totally down. She's just like, no, this is what you do after battle. All this stuff you guys are doing is just what the heck. Cheese and apples, baby.
Also, I'm gonna excuse myself, grab some studded leather armor, and change.
Okay.
Wait, studded leather better than regular? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, you might got it right. Yeah, right there.
And while Alvis is working on all that, Jenna's gonna go back and um, first she's gonna free up Petro, and she's not gonna give him the dagger, and she's gonna instruct him to stand guard.
Okay.
And
To
tossing him his
to
pack
Pietro or to the
to Petro.
bard? Okay.
No, to Petro.
I'm gonna take a
Alright.
set of leather armor too, like Afro did.
And then she's gonna bring some clothes to these two,
All right.
and she's gonna unchain them and hand them clothes.
All right. Farios kind of flexes a bit and looks at you and nods. It is much appreciated what you've done.
We're happy to help.
When we return to civilization, I will make sure that you are appropriately compensated for your efforts. I have
appreciate
friends in
that.
high places. I can make sure that you are rewarded.
That is good to hear. I'm just
And
happy
this
that
dude strikes you as being extremely fit. Like he is muscly. He also has very like intelligent like eyes that definitely seem to keep darting about and taking in everything he sees. And he does carry himself with quite a bit of confidence as well.
yes, we'll take you both back to Saltmarsh, and um, obviously we'll go and speak with our employer, um, and figure out how to go forward from there.
All right. So, what is your next move then?
Okay.
You guys gonna head back through the swamps and head back? Are you just gonna say we got too much on our plate right now to deal with that farm situation? Like, what is the?
Yeah, I think so.
Unfortunately.
Oh, are we? So we dipping out on the farm?
I mean, we
I
can
mean-
do it later. They didn't seem to be in any kind of a hurry.
Albus is going to short rest after his rituals, so I know everyone else kind of already took their short rest, but
Mhm.
when he's done the ritual, he's like, so the ring, he's just gonna like flip over to Jenna and say, "That's a ring of knowing stuff,"
A ring of
and
knowing stuff.
and then so game terms at +1 bonus to all your knowledge skills. No attunement necessary.
Jenna slips the ring on.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
you begin to recall trivia facts that you you have no idea why they're popping into your mind. So
That is quite nice.
you're
Thank
like a
you,
female
Albus.
hyena has an engorged clitoris. Wow. Why is that coming up? Oh well. I'm sure it'll be handy later. Yeah.
and then for the goggles, he's just gonna say, I don't think they transmit, and I could clear the recording. And he just like plops the goggles like not on his eye. He's just got the goggles like around his neck hanging down. And he's like, I'll clear the evidence, and but if we ever need to to see something again, it will I could record again.
Quite honestly, I would like this. I have a lot at stake in what is on them, and as you obviously know now, and I don't quite feel comfortable with them outside of my reach.
he like just kind of nods. He's like, "Oh, I'm sure." As he like puts the pearl into his own pouch as payment for the identify, and just sits back and closes his eye to take a nap with the goggles still around his neck.
Mm.
Huh.
Mm.
Uh,
Oh boy, Albus.
yeah. Hey, Alvis.
He'll open his eye. What?
You're not in
I
that
said I did.
video. You have 3 other
I
people who is in that video. That's you might hand them over.
He's gonna put the goggles on, do whatever needs doing to clear it, and then he's just
Okay.
gonna like lower them and be like, "Video's gone."
Albus. You know what I do with wizards. Please hand me the goggles.
He starts snoring.
Mm.
Let it go. He's clearly crazy. No one will believe him.
So during the short rest,
Oh, you could totally just take the goggles from him while he's sleeping. He's like out like.
I mean, the amount of damage that this dude took, this would be a hard sleep for sure.
Jenna's just gonna slip the goggles off of him,
Okay.
and
You'll find the video is clear of the goggles.
Yeah. We need a better word than video
Oh,
for
dude, that really
emergency.
sucks,
But,
Elvis.
yeah.
Ooh.
program delusion. Program
There you
delusion.
Well, it's not so
Eh.
much a program delusion. I mean, it is a recording.
Is it
of
magical?
video. It is a visual recording, which I guess is the root of video, but still, yeah, I would just call it a visual recording. So,
So, are we taking the half orc
or
and
you get kind of like dramatic with it, and it makes testaments. Oh, that'd be hype.
So we're taking the half
But
orc
yeah.
and bard with us, right?
So yeah, you have a bard. He is an NPC bard now, so he functions a little bit differently than a player character bard. So there's like no song of rest or anything like that. NPC bards basically have the same thing that Afra has, which is the inspiring leader thing, but they can only do it once per day. So yeah. And then we've got Pietro and this Farios guy. So you did pick up 3 dudes in the swamp. So
All right, so all 3 of them.
We,
Let's
we might need the half orc. He does not seem to be here.
oh yeah, I was looking for his miniature. It was down earlier. Let me see. He may have been deleted.
Does medicine count as a knowledge check?
No, it's wisdom.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Knowledge checks are
Arcana,
history, nature, and religion. Yep.
Okay. The
Okay.
doc would say it's a knowledge check.
All right. So what are you guys gonna do now?
we're gonna the main party. I think is gonna take the valuable loot and the weapons, and anything else that can be carried, we're gonna give to our NPCs and new guy. Are you guys okay with that, or? So all main weapons like the javelins and the axe and the. I guess we can't carry all the shield and swords, but we damn sure want to give that to the Dragonborn. Like we try to carry as much stuff as we can, and without being over encumbered with everything, and head back.
Okay. The bard informs you that his name is Swish.
Also, as we're speaking, I am going to give everyone 6 temporary hit points again now that we have completed a short rest.
Nice.
Nice, dude. Are you okay with that, Jenna? You're down for us trying to lug this shit back into town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jenna would. Let's be honest. She's not very strong. She's kind of a bitch. So I don't think she would burden herself with like carrying a shield. But she'll carry what she can.
Okay. This Farios guy, they've been equipped with clothing, Do they have like weapons and armor? Because if they're going to be traveling through the swamp, they would very much
Yeah,
like to be
yeah,
able to protect themselves.
yeah. Jenna gives them.
Okay.
She basically like take a pick, like out of the like stack of weapons and stuff they have.
All right.
Oh, except for the pistols. I'm taking every one of them.
Yeah, no pistols.
Now this Farios guy says, "I see. All right. Appreciated." And he goes ahead and he puts on basically the studded leather, since that's like I guess the best he could do. Straps on a shield. Does not take a weapon though.
Well, when Jenna sees him not take a weapon, she goes to him and she puts like a really friendly hand, on like his shoulder, and
Uh-huh.
she's like, "The swamps are very dangerous. We fought 2 trolls just to get here, and I wouldn't wanna I wouldn't wanna see you get killed shortly after you were saved."
I have weapons provided by my patron.
Oh, I see. Very well then.
Don't
Okay.
like that. Don't like that at all.
Alrighty. So, and when he says that, his eyes do kind of like flash a bit with some arcane light. All right. So you guys head back into the swamps. Can I get a survival check from, I suppose, from whoever has the best survival? If there are two of you trained in survival, one of you may make the check with advantage. But you must be two people must be trained for someone to roll with advantage.
I'm trained.
Okay.
Anyone else trained?
No.
There were our two new NPCs. Are they trained?
Or Petra?
Yeah. I do not have that particular skill set.
All right. Then it is all on you, Afra. No pressure.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Okay.
Did we
Uh,
long rest or just short rest?
I
Short
believe you
rest.
short rested
Yeah.
because it hasn't been really long enough to gain the benefits of another long rest. You'd have to basically hang out at these ruins all day to get another to time out your cooldown, as it were, for long resting.
Okay, Jenna's gonna use Arcane Recovery.
Okay, these jabrones do not really have enough hit dice to get back to full, so both of them are currently bloodied. And because Pietro, you are an MC, you're fine. But the two NPCs, off of a short rest, cannot get all their stuff back. All right, Afra, as you're making your way through the swamps, do you try to back trail your own trail to return? So
Yeah.
basically past the tree fall, past the battle field where you faced off against the trolls,
Yeah.
and then back to the road where you fought the gnolls. Or are you trying to forge a new path through the swamp?
I am trying to go back the way we came.
Okay. All right. As you go, moving your way through the swamps, you do come across the scene of the crime where Locke was killed, and his body sold to the lizard folk, and all that jazz went down. You examine the area. Because you are an inquisitive, I really do need to start playing up your inquisitive a lot more. And my apologies. You are the first in 5 years inquisitive.
Really,
No,
it seems
wait.
like such a good
I think
thing.
there was one other inquisitive, and pretty much when it came to like social encounters, I just like would take him aside before every social encounter and be like, "This is everything that's happening in the social encounter." So I need to get back in the habit of doing that with your character. Which I could do that right now if you want. You want to hop in a private chat real quick, and I'll let you know everything that's going on with the people that you just picked up?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So as we're walking through this like swamp, Petro, you would notice that like Jenna, she's very much like she holds herself to really high regard and is like really proud of herself, but she's just very stumbly. Like she's tripping over like a rock like a baby would see. Oh, I just realized you share a mic with Afra. That's not fair. Alvis, I love your character by the way, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I may have mentioned this before. If anyone watches Killjoys, I'm sort of modeling him off of the attitude. Like he's a blend of the characters there, but he's very mercenary and he's very like he's personally greedy for the things that he likes and values. Otherwise, he just doesn't care. So he likes gold. For some reason, he really likes those goggles. He did delete that video, and you currently have the goggles. He doesn't have them.
Yep.
But like yeah, like the ring and stuff like that. Like he automatically assumed you would want the ring, so he's just like tosses it to you. The amulet, despite the fact that he very much would probably benefit consistently from that amulet, he just like he doesn't view his personal physical health to be a priority. So because his background basically includes much torture of him by others, so he just to him pain is just a state that he's constant in, and so that's why the amulet he's just like tossed aside like it was worth nothing. It's a new character for me. Like I'm not he's definitely not your traditional party member, but at the same time he's got that mercenary party outlook where it's like you do what you do for your crew and the rest of the world be damned kind of thing. So I know he's gruff and I'm playing him like he's not exactly a team player, but he's more of an actions over words kind of person, which is
Yeah,
why he
for
like
sure.
deletes the video without even like realize like, oh, okay, you're bothered by it, wipes it clean because he doesn't care. I mean, you guys killed a guy. People kill people all the time. So
Literally committing murder.
honestly, like his attitude. Oh, he also has a pirate background. So I mean, his whole notion is like the fact that Jenna seemed disquieted by the notion that there's this recording of your actions. He like in his mind, he's like, "What are you scared for? Like, who cares if people know?" but again, because crew matters, and it bothered you guys that the video existed, he's just like, "Okay, clear it away." Which is better for him anyways, because if you guys need to record something else, now there's room. Because it can only hold one recording. I don't know if I told you guys that from the.
No, you didn't, but that's
Yeah,
good to know.
yeah, it holds one recording at a time. You, yeah, the playback can occur however many times you want, but the recording can only happen once unless it gets erased.
Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, and he totally tells everyone what the command word is to initiate the recording and the playback. He doesn't hide that.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. Who has the amulet? Did anyone actually like?
No, no one picked it up. I think we thought you would just take it.
Yeah.
Oh, mechanically Alvis should, but just RP wise, he has zero interest in it. He wouldn't have left it like on the floor or anything like that. He's not like it's still valuable, but he would definitely be looking for someone else to be
Now,
taking it if they want to use
something
it.
else of interest, Afra, is that the crime scene, as it were, has been mostly cleaned up by scavengers. But as you examine, like the scene where your battle took place and the lizard folk and all that, the footprints are very much of large humanoid frogs.
Hmm.
So they have the whole like 3 feet with the pads and the webs and that kind of thing.
Are they that big? I'm gonna be scared if they're that big.
No. They're medium size. They're medium sized creatures. They do seem to have come through recently. You could follow their trail if you wanted to. In total, there were about a dozen.
Hmm.
That's 10 pounds in open, a 5-pound bag.
Okay, so you'll just continue.
What does that mean?
No.
kind of continue
Nope.
onwards.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I think we would just continue.
All right.
And Jenna would give you that amulet.
Oh,
was fun.
okay. I'll take it.
For your
Oh,
hard
the
work.
parapet of wound closure, or whatever. Oh,
For your
nice.
hard work and your loyalty.
Thanks.
Aw, thanks.
Knows you're condescending to me.
So,
But I'll take it anyway.
as you guys continue out of these swamps, there are no noteworthy encounters. You make it back to the King's Road, and from there, it is a few hours to make it back to Saltmarsh. You should
Very good.
arrive. Yeah, you should arrive in Saltmarsh around sundown.
Drinking time.
As you guys reach the road, there is an audible sigh of relief from Swish and a grunt of sort of pleased acknowledgement from Farios. So Swish is just kind of like, oh, thank the gods. Oh, Timora. Oh, I knew you hadn't fucked me too hard. Okay. And Farios just kind of looks up and down the road, and there's just like a low growl in his throat box, and he says, "I couldn't help but notice amongst the remains there was another of my kind, badly burned. Is it all right to speak of this individual? I am curious who they were in life."
He was an ally, but he was quite pig-headed. Very stubborn and proud. And that's what led to his death.
So he was a dragonborn then. And there's
Yes,
like
he
a
was.
low chuckle in this guy's throat box area.
Yeah, and Jenna just not catching the joke was like, yeah, you said he was of your kind. You knew he was a dragonborn. What a... Yes.
Interesting. He seemed to be a green. They're usually very cautious manipulators.
Well, he was not like that at all.
Hmm.
It was actually
Yeah.
quite disappointing.
He seemed kind of not that bright. If you get my
Excuse
drift.
me if I'm being too forward here, but you seem like the sort of individuals who are willing to get things done without the burden of rules and regulations.
We have goals and we achieve them. Simply that.
I see. When I am reunited with my allies within the Lord's Alliance, I will once again have access to my resources. And at that point, perhaps you would be available to assist me with my good work in the town of Saltmarsh.
Perhaps. There's a lot of political strife in that city.
That is my very purpose for journeying there, to ease the town out of its current predicament of political upheaval.
Can I roll for insight in what he's saying? Like, is he?
Sure,
Looks like
sure.
he's trying to
Yeah. His character voice makes you feel like he's a shady motherfucker for sure. But it's, I mean, he is, like a dragon, so he kind of has that thing going on there. Yeah, your insight tells you that he is telling the truth. He is supposed to go to the town and end their political strife.
Do I think he's talking about murder specifically?
He strikes you, and I don't want to hurt your feelings here, as a bit of a kindred spirit. He is very much willing to do whatever he needs to do to complete his work.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, yes, but first, let us go rest. The town is upon us.
Uh, if that is all you wish to discuss, then yes, let us travel in silence, beautiful, soft skinned woman. And he gives you sort of a hungy look. Like this guy is all about he works for Bad Dragon and he is willing to deliver like to your door. So that is his it is not veiled in any way. All right.
Interspecies 11.
Um,
Yeah, man. Dungeons and Dragons, Faerun in particular, man. They are all down for whatevs. They really are. So they make Commander Shepard look tame. So, um, yeah. They used to be a very xenophobic, but like there's been a lot of progressive liberal ideas spreading through the Sword Coast. So people are really they're really trying things out. They're trying things out. All right. So you guys continue down the road. It is a long walk back to Saltmarsh for sure. If you had any questions for each other or them or anything you wanted to handle before you get thrust into the crazy RP that is trying to navigate Saltmarsh, this would be the time to try to sort that stuff out.
I'm gonna say that ahead while we are walking, so that we would be several steps in front of the others.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, and Afra, it does occur to you that tonight, I believe, would be the last night of the festival.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, so that's something to consider.
yeah, because we have to go by my friend. Um, so how do you think Dragonborn want to ransom him? I feel like, or should we just let him go on?
I'm I'm honestly quite torn. And Jenna looks back to see if like she could see the Dragonborn speaking and like trying to listen in. How
Oh,
far ahead are we?
the Dragonborn is stoically sort of just walking down the road. You guys are still about 3 hours outside of town.
Yeah, I
About
mean,
2.5, 3 hours outside of town.
like how far ahead of pace are we of the Dragonborn?
Oh, I mean that's completely up to you. Like he's not like going to pick up his pace to keep up with you kind of thing. Like if honestly, he has an air at this point that if you guys were to leave, he would be fine with it.
Well, then I'll say we're probably about 30 feet in front.
Okay.
Um, I see many roads, many
Yeah.
roads ahead of us, many potential doors. Um, I'm not particularly loyal to the Loyalists, though Prime Water did help us out, and I do owe him one.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh,
afraid that his help might disappear if we betrayed him.
yes. Though, I sense a lot from this Dragonborn. I feel like he could be very beneficial to us. We have no political footing in the town. From what I don't think anyone here is married to any one side. And
Um,
quite honestly, I've made my purpose clear. Um, I'm willing to do it at any means possible.
Yeah.
If that means playing all sides, goddamn, we may well just play all sides. I don't think we should ransom him. I don't think like a capture type thing is. He already
Okay.
said he's gonna just reward him just for freeing him.
Then we just let him go on his way and we report to Prime Water on our own.
Yes, I think that's best. I think if we take him to Prime Water, any doors. I believe many doors may close if we take him to Prime Water.
That's fair. That's fair.
And he
That will
said
be
it himself that he's gonna reward us. So I'm sure Prime Water would reward us for bringing him to him.
Yeah. Well, if Prime Water asks us about it, we can feign ignorance.
Prime Water seems very clever.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Should I fly ahead and tell him, or just we'll deal with it when we deal with it?
I mean, if you go forward and tell him, Prime Water's most likely going to tell you to have him brought straight to him, and then I'm quite sure he may just disappear.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's make sure we get
I
our
don't
reward.
see the loyalists wanting this Dragonborn's influence on the town.
Alvis nods, and as though he's imparting some like great wisdom, like, yeah, you can never unwalk the plank.
Exactly. I believe we've just been in this city but a short time. I believe it's way too soon to put all of our eggs in one basket.
Are you poking your eye hole?
Is that an out of character or an in character question?
That's completely in character. Gorilla gives no fucks for asking random questions.
Yeah, so Afra, you know what? Gosh, this party, the theme of it. Can you go to secret meeting real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alvis, like, he kind of looks up at you, like, surprised at the question, and then realizes, like, he didn't even know he was doing it. It's, like, completely unconscious. It's like when you're picking a scab or something and you don't even think about it. And so he, like, kind of almost sheepishly takes his finger out of the eye hole, and he's like, yeah, sorry. Yeah. And then, like, slowly, as if it's, like, not under his control, his hand kind of creeps up, and he again, like, starts swishing his finger around the eye hole again.
Well, that's gross. That's completely and utterly gross. So
I already decided Alvis is not going to wear an eye patch, nor is he going to have his face, like, magically healed. He's just owning it.
Sorry, guys. With an inquisitive, there's going to be a lot of that. Please don't get paranoid and kill her. She just knows, she just literally knows everything that's going on, and so I have to keep feeding her this information.
This is why, like, I mean, Alvis's perspective is Afra's the person to get in the good books with because she seems to know stuff.
Yeah, no, it is a fantastic class, but sort of like the Ranger, it's only fantastic if the GM is willing to put in the work. Mechanically, it doesn't seem that that cool, but honestly, Inquisitives, yeah, the last one I had that was in Paradise Vale, and he just knew shit, and like knowing shit, like G.I. Joe tells you, it's half the battle. So, all right. You guys continue the walk. The town grows closer. There is nobody's leaving town this late in the day, except for maybe a handful of people who live in like the satellite farmsteads and districts outside of Saltmarsh might be heading out. Unless you so desire, none of them like seeing how rough and rowdy and beat to shit your group is. None of them want anything to do with you because most people in Faerun understand that adventures bring trouble. So unless you have trouble, you probably don't want to interface with adventurers. So a lot of the people leaving town sort of turn their heads away and speed up their their wagons and their horses or just their pace But yeah, there is ambient foot traffic coming and going from Saltmarsh, but nobody that wants to interface with you. If you wanted to interface with rando peasant 45678 9, let me know. Otherwise, you continue your journey back to Saltmarsh.
Not interacting with the peasants, but every time like they glance at us and turn away,
Yeah.
like Alvis turns to the others, he's like, "But I'm still pretty, right? Why won't they look?" And
Yes,
like he needs like that validation from everybody. Like,
Yeah, so Swish, sensing an opportunity, he says, "Hey, listen. Scars are sexy, but you are probably going to want to get that like patched up because there's a difference between scars and infection. So,
totally misunderstanding him. Like
Yeah.
Alvis nods, and he's like, "Oh yeah, patch," and he like rips a patch off of his cloak and just sticks it to his face.
There is a squelching sound as the cloth hits his exposed flesh. It sounds horrible, like the bad sound that macaroni and cheese makes. Yeah.
At that, he also gives like a surprised "ow."
Yeah, it hurts real bad. Honestly, as an adventurer, pain mitigation is one of the passive traits of a adventurer, or they wouldn't be able to be adventurers. But it hurts bad. Like you're in the kind of pain that a normal person that does not have the blood of heroes, they would either be dead or they would just still be laying there in the swamp, like waiting for help. Yeah, like it's bad.
I'm
And
gonna ice my left hand like with Ray of Frost, but not quite shooty Ray of Frost, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
like put that icy hand up on my face.
Okay, it is an immediate comfort for sure.
Can I
After
light of hand medicine check him?
When if he was unconscious, sure. You could, yeah, like
just come at me on my left side. I won't even know you're there.
yeah, like this is involved enough injury that you would really need him to be cooperative or unconscious.
Oh, buy me a drink in the tavern and you can poke it whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Or should I just conk him on the head and we drag him over to the side of the road?
I mean, again, come at me on my left side and you probably auto hit.
I'm
All
just
right,
saying, I didn't know you were pretty to begin with. Like, Jenna is pretty. You were.
Oh, he's not pretty. Elvis was never pretty.
Yeah.
He just his idea of pretty is not
almost like sensing that she is needed. Arabeth lands and perches on your left shoulder, and she sort of fans her wing to cover the left side of your face, and she gives everyone a very stern look as they at how they are treating her master.
Oh, that's my baby.
All right, so you're walking, you're talking, you reach the gates of Saltmarsh. All right. At the gates of Saltmarsh, you see a guard, a Saltmarsh guard, and she is kind of grumbling to herself, and you see her pulling down billets that have been posted uh, along the gate, like near the gate, and she's just kind of grumbling to herself, like, "Oh yeah, you can't be posting these here. We got quest boards for this sort of thing." And she is a hill dwarf, which I believe they call, I want to say gold dwarf. Yeah, it's gold is hill, shield is mountain, right? Help
I
me
think
out here.
so.
Yeah,
Pretty sure, yeah.
yeah,
For this campaign, it is.
and she well, I don't want any lorehounds to come after me. And she turns and sees you guys, and her eyes kind of travel across all of you, and her face kind of contorts in revulsion at mess that is Alvis's face. Sort of suspicious, racist cop vibe when she looks at Pietro. And then she kind of goes back to her business of yanking down these billets. They all seem to be the same, and that's kind of weird that they would post the same billet over and over and over again.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see if I can snatch a glance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could definitely snatch a glance. But perception check. If you wanted to snatch a billet, that would be a sleight of hand.
Better at perception.
Okay. Yeah. The billet reads, missing. Olms Oakham and his team have gone missing in the Dunwater Marshes, which is where you guys just were. Inquire with Olivia Oakham at her residence near Green Market. Large reward.
Okay.
Yeah.
File that one away.
Okay. I'll post it in the chat just so you have it. The wording. There's actual billets, but at this point, it's all good. So you guys pass her, and there are 2 more guards at the gates, and they give you guys scrutinizing looks, to be sure, as you head into town. And coming up the rear, maintaining a 30-foot distance from the rest of the party, Farios turns to the guards and says, "Hail and well met. I am Farios of House Black Talon." And they all they kind of look at each other. "I am here from Daggerford. Lord's Alliance. I am to meet with someone named Eleander." And they kind of yes, yeah, right. Oh, of course. Lord Blacktalon. It's good to see you. We had heard you were coming, but I'll be honest, we thought you'd be a bit more of a dandy. Oh gosh, I can't believe I just said that. But because you're a noble, and I'm just gonna stop now. And the other guard says, "Yeah, we'll send word. You can wait here, or we can simply give you directions. Do you need to reach him at work or at his residence?" And Pharaohs is just like, "I like to keep things professional, so I'll just meet him at work." So they give him directions to Halhoon Castle, or not castle, tower, and that is where he is going to head. So he turns to you guys and he says, "Where would I look you up to make sure that you are rewarded for what you've done for me?"
For rooms at the Empty Net.
He closes his eyes for a moment and he says, "The Empty Net. Excuse my elven, a shithole. Hardly seems an appropriate place for such a beautiful woman as yourself to be staying at. Perhaps after I'm settled, you would stay at my manor."
Perhaps we could accompany you to speak to Lord Eleander.
"Oh, please. The night grows dark and wet. It would be a pleasure to have something bright and beautiful to cheer things up."
I think I much would like to hear what he has to say.
And I as well. All right. So
if they go up there, can I take the NPC and the new orc to sell our goods? Or we're still like walking around with like barrels and shit. So can we go sell our stuff? If Afra and
today's weather is just really it was really overcast, threatening rain. And as you guys sort of enter Saltmarsh, and he says it grows wet almost on cue, there is a kadoosh of like thunder off in the distance, and the sky just opens up, just like so much rain. Like it's a rain that's been holding back all day, and like it finally breaks, and it's just like it's crazy. Visibility is down to like maybe 15 feet in front of you. Like the rain is coming down so hard. So let me move you guys back to the map of the town so you have a better idea of what you want to do. Do you want to go with him to haul Hool Watch Tower? Or what's the plan, guys?
I do.
Okay.
I want to hear what Lord
Yeah.
Elliot.
So let me just go round robin to make sure I've got everybody doing what they want to do now that you're back at town. So Jenna's going to go with him to Hool Watch Tower. Garuda, what did you want to do?
Try to sell our stuff.
Okay, so you're going to try to catch the open market before things settle or close for the day. With the weather such as it were, you may want to wait until tomorrow to try to sell your goods because it's already late in the day and it's absolute shit weather.
Fair enough. Then I'll stop by the empty net and drop everything off at least, just so
Okay.
we're not carrying that shit still around. You know, just a
All
pit
right.
stop.
So, Afro, what are you gonna do now that you're back in town? The weather has turned absolute shit. It is a cold, heavy rain on top of that. So it's one of those things that you're instantly soaked down to your
Yeah.
socks. Yeah, down to your socks and underpants. It is that kind of rain, and everything just is icy and clings.
Do I get the
Yeah.
impression that the festival might close early and I need to go there now?
For sure. Yeah, it's an outdoor festival. This is some ass weather. So there won't be any closing ceremony fireworks or anything like that. Now the Hool Watch Tower is very close to the festival. It is location 12.
Well, I will certainly go with them up to the point of the tower.
Yeah, and unless you've got 500 large for this dude, you're gonna have to turn in to get the money.
Oh,
before
that's
you-
right.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to turn the null heads in.
Yeah,
Right.
we gotta turn everything in.
Which is conveniently enough also something that you could do at Hool Watch Tower.
Okay, well, we'll do that then.
Okay.
But to be fair, that's why I was trying to sell shit, just so we can go get the things we need money for.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really bad timing. I basically have the weather for like the entire year already generated. So it is outside of my hands as well. I just run you guys based on what the calendar says and what the weather says. So
By the
That-
shop, don't hold the thing.
Nah. We'll get the money first.
Okay.
all right. So here, Alvis, the cold, icy rain is a huge relief on the burning that is your face and eye.
Yeah.
But what would you like to do?
So Alvis,
Medical attention, please.
Alvis has always loved the rain anyway, so
Mhm.
he is yeah, I'm gonna go to the empty net. I'm gonna order the largest tankard they have, and I'm
Mhm.
going to step outside where they likely have no longer been serving people on the outside tables.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be that guy who's sitting in like on the patio while the rain is just pouring.
sure.
And yeah, I the tower sounds like there's stuff gonna be going on there, but I just want to rest. It's the weirdest thing. Elvis just kind of wants to take some time.
All right, fair enough. So you will be off camera doing that. Pietro, what are you gonna do?
I will go with the majority of the group to the tower. That is where the reward is. That is
All
what
right.
I'm here.
Okay.
You don't get a wait. Pause. You don't get a
What did you
reward.
do for a reward?
You don't get part of the reward.
if your
He's
future
yes.
if your future employers are doing well, You are doing well. That's just business right there. Swish, kind of, he watches Alvis like heading off, and he watches like the group, and he's like, so you're going to meet the captain of the guards, right?
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah, your friend, he looks like he's in a bad way. Why don't I, free of charge, go with him and keep him out of trouble?
Please
For
do.
what we did and
If
say,
you
I
could,
think
if
that's a
you
good idea.
could, as a minstrel, a stringer of words, perhaps he's quite an odd one, a hard one to get what you want him to do. You gotta word it in a specific way, but try and get him
Sure.
some medical treatment for that. Don't
Yeah.
want it to see it infected.
Okay.
He's too proud of it, but
Mission received. Get him so drunk he passes out. I'll work on it. All right. And so Swish, the half elven bard, disappears into the rain. Yeah. Farios watches him leave. It's creepy. You see Farios's two yellow eyes as two glowing pinpoints of light in the rain. His black scales just make his whole face like an inky blot of shadow, and you just see those two eyes kind of gleaming from within the shadows cast by the rain and the overcast sky and the setting sun that you can no longer see. And he says, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that guy might be a criminal. And he sort of chuckles to himself and
Jetta chuckles too.
starts heading towards the thing. All right. You guys arrive at Hool Watch Tower. You've seen it before. I never showed you the art for it because I'm just the worst dungeon master on earth, I guess. Let's see. There we go. It is an elven structure, which is interesting because nothing else in the town seems to be elven in make. The bridge kind of has some elven architecture to it. The integration of the natural stone and plant life and things like that. But yeah, there's this tower. The tower looks like an elven mage should hang out there. But in reality, this is yeah, this is the guards headquarters basically. You guys were brought to the jail to be interviewed, but this is actually where like they operate out of is this area right here. So as you approach, there are guards, and the guards look pretty miserable, dealing with the dealing with this weather and everything else that's going on. Again, this is the general outfit of a Saltmarsh guard. They got their cute little hat, which I guess is good for the rain. And yeah, they see you guys approaching, and they immediately reach for their weapons, not in like a panicked way, but in a well-trained, hey, here's a tough-looking group of armed individuals. And so they, one of them calls out, aye, hail and well met on this shit evening. What brings you to Hull Watch Tower? Gosh, that's hard to say.
We hear you are in need of some knoll heads. Some.
Are you fucking with us right now? For say true.
Yes, we've taken care of them for you, just as we agreed.
Wow. It's hard to tell, but you do see the flash of teeth, of like white teeth, kind of through the rain, and the figure turns to the other, and the other, in a more feminine voice, says, "Whew, that would be some good bit of news." All right. Yeah, let's get you in out of the rain. And you guys head towards up the steps, and through the doors into the tower.
Yeah,
Yes.
and as they're walking up, Jenna's also gonna say that we need to speak to Eleander, um, and she's gonna introduce the Dragonborn
Okay. The woman
title
turns
and
and
everything.
looks at him, and she it's a lot to take in. The dude's like 6'6". He's built like a Greek athlete. He's got like the creepy black scales. He's got the yellow glowy eyes. Um, but he has that noble bearing as well. And she's just like, oh, um, who is this again?
Yeah, and Jenna would introduce him with his titles that she
Oh,
overheard him saying
of
to
House
Claire.
Black Talon.
Yep.
Okay. He kind of nods and he extends his hand, taking the lady guard's hand. He raises it to his snoot, and he boops his snoot with her hand, and says, "My lady, you are uh, a vision on this cold, wet night. Yes, my associate speaks true. I have business with your captain if he is available." And she says, "Oh, as it is, he is available. He wanted to stay close to the tower in case there was any shenanigans with the closing of the festival and whatnot. Um, Apparently, there's a whole business with missing persons and a murder and things like that. So, and he kind of narrows his eyes into two like horizontal glowy slits of yellow, and he says, "This town languishes in chaos. Uh, Fear not. I bring the order of Daggerford with me wherever I go." All right. So you guys are led inside. Um, Yeah, the tower is a 60-foot high affair. You see that in the central area, it is a large circular area that is divided up into different chambers and rooms. You guys sort of wait in this open area. You do see that there are stairs that lead down and stairs that lead up from your current location. You are led to a oak table with benches on either side, and are offered to sit. And that you are offered water, because that's the kind of hospitality that there are. You guys know government budget. You know how it is. Yeah. So you guys are offered fresh water, if you are so inclined.
Yeah,
All right.
Jenna takes
Outside, you
nothing
just hear the
rude.
whipping of like the wind and the rain and everything else. All right. So, uh, who doesn't sit? Does everybody sit? This is important because the table's a mimic, so I need to know
I
who
have,
sits at the table
I
and who
have
doesn't.
quite good luck with mimics. I sit down.
Okay, yeah. Feels good, even though it's a hard oak bench. It feels good to set that sweet keister down after all the walking, hiking, and roughing it that you have been up to. Your butt cheeks cry out in relief at being able to sit. It is a good feeling. All right. So after a time, a dude comes down. I think you've seen him before. Maybe this guy.
Yep.
All right.
I've seen Daddy before.
Yeah. So Eleander comes down the stairs and he looks around the room. And when his eyes I guess I'll just feed you a general info. Jenna, as his eyes go to you, he looks resigned to see you. As his eyes then travel to Garuda, they seem neutral. When they travel to Afra, they seem cautious. When they travel to Pietro, they seem indifferent. And when they travel to Black Talon, they sort of light up, just not literally light up, but they sort of brighten a little bit as he recognizes the individual, and he says, "Black Talon, you son of a bitch. and then they do like the predator, like manly hand grab, forearm deal, and kind of clench each other's fists and pull each other in for like a half hug kind of thing. And Ferios says, "It has been too long, sir." And Eleander kind of chuckles and says, "Ah, there's no need for sir. Um, well, you are my elder, so it is only right and polite to use that honorific." And he kind of chuckles and he says, "You are a lot more polite than your father, that's for sure. How is the old man doing?" And the guy's eyes kind of, Ferris's eyes dim a little bit, and he says, "I see you have not heard. He was murdered. We're not sure by whom. Uh, Investigations are still underway. I had wanted to lead the investigation myself, but duty called me here." And Eleander just kind of nods, and he seems very somber. He says, "Your father was a great man. Sorry for your loss."
And Jenna also is like, I'm sorry for your loss.
All right. Farius looks at you, and he politely nods at your politeness. And he says, "These fine individuals are my guardian angels. I and my traveling companions were beset by gnolls on the road, taken prisoner. There was a Yuanti cultist of the cult of the Meredith, and I believe that my fate was certainly an unpleasant one if they had not arrived in the timely fashion that they did. They are, as the halflings say, no joke. Um, they they were able to take out an entire cell of Scarlet Brotherhood cultists single-handedly. They did suffer a loss. A green dragonborn was killed in the process, and I have gathered they lost another ally in the swamps as well. But it is not my place to tell their story. I just wish to put in a good word for them. I'm sure you already know of them if they are powerful heroes, such as they are. And he kind of sits back down. And Eleander raises one of them salt and pepper bushy eyebrows and says, "Oh, they have quite a reputation already in our fine city. Please, is there anything that my good friend missed that I should be made aware of?"
Um, Not much, sir. And she's very cautious. She's using all the pleasantries required. Sir, yes, I believe, I'm not sure if it was you or one of your guards, but they told us of the null problem. Um, and just being budding adventurers, we went to take care of it. We followed after we captured the gnolls, on the highway, we followed the tracks deep into the swamps, which is where we found this hideout. It was We decided to investigate. I mean, random um, hideout in the middle of the swamp has to yield its rewards, and we were sure if they were in cahoots with the gnolls that they weren't up to much good, of course. So we decided to do the right thing and take a look, and we found out they were up to quite evil. We suspect demon summoning type stuff. They were hostile towards us, so we did in fact take them out, and this is where we found this fine young dragonborn as well as um, this half orc and a half elf who is retired to get a drink after the long journey. And he told us of your relationship and we decided to come here and see where it takes us. He promised us he had powerful allies, and we're looking for work, quite honestly.
Okay. Just a moment. Afra, can you go into secret meeting real quick?
Okay.
Dude, he totally knows I murdered that wizard. This is so awkward.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we're locked in to give him the information. I think the information is more going to the Zentarum, so yeah.
So around this time, as you guys are, exchanging pleasantries with your guards or these lords, Alvis is ordering essentially a pot of boiling wine and a cloth, and he's going to disinfect his wounds manually.
Oh God. Dude, we gotta kill Afra. I don't like this secret shit.
Yeah, I don't think I like it even, dude. I don't think I
All right.
like it.
Crash. Also, by the way, Jenna has the goggles on, and she turned on the recording.
So you're literally wearing goggles during this conversation because you
Well,
have to be you have to be wearing them to get them to record. So you would be
Goggles.
wearing some nerd ass like welder's goggles
Oh.
as you
Oh,
have
they're
this.
like welder's goggles. They're not
Yeah,
like
they,
Harry
Oh.
Potter glasses.
Give it to me.
no.
I'll take them.
Here,
They're-
go have the Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah, no, they're goggles of night. So they very much are goggles. So are you just going to be like
Well,
wearing
she
goggles on your
can
face?
she like
or-
can she record if she like puts them up on her forehead?
That is not the words that I said. No.
Okay, then
Yeah, you have to
she's
you have
not
to
gonna
wear
be.
them. Yeah.
She's not gonna wear them, obviously.
Okay.
Setting.
All right. Yeah. Definitely a design flaw. Glasses would have been smarter. But no, they are they are goggles of night, and they have to be utilized as such to have the record function available.
Okay.
You realize maybe high intelligence that they were designed more for surveillance and less for entrapment.
Okay.
Right? Does that kind of sum up where your head was at on those?
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. So, Eleander listens intently to what you have to say, and he kind of gauges the room here. Can everybody give me, unless you want him to insight you as you are, definitely throw out a deception. You do not have to be trained in it, to present the kind of outward vibe that you are going for. Okay.
I'm going for.
Otherwise,
I'm barely paying
you
attention.
you are presented as you are. But if you're trying to sort of come across in a certain way, that is where deception would come in here.
Yeah, Jenna is trying to come off as like a budding adventurer who is of good alignment, who would never murder anybody, and is definitely innocent in that crime that she's.
Except for all the people that you just admitted to murdering.
Well, that's
And-
different. They were evil. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I got you. I just like to point out to adventurers who harp on their good alignments that they are mass murderers, every single one of them. So get that good alignment shit out of my face.
I mean, I'm just saying what she's trying to put off. Okay?
Oh yeah, totally.
Afra
Like
is just
any-
trying to look like the responsible one in the group.
Good people take people alive and try to rehabilitate them. Otherwise, we'd live in a society where police would just straight murder anyone who did anything wrong anytime they did something wrong. And we would call that a good Hey. We don't need to hear from you. We don't need to hear from you.
Pretty good,
Canada. Was that Canada that was trying to chime in there? We got enough problems without you teasing us. Jeez. Anyways,
Pietros
Sorry
had
about
the
that.
air of nonchalance and not bothering anyone.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so Eleander like looks at everybody and he says, "This is troubling news. Ayanti, this far north. Uh, I try to give everyone a fair shake, but the Yuan-Ti are, as a species, um, irredeemably evil. The cult of the Merilith is a serious a serious danger to the region. This is not the first such situation of its type. What I'm about to tell you may surprise you, but there are some ruins south of town. The locals call it the house that crawls. I sent guards there, and what they found was shocking.
What was it they found? What an eerie name for a place.
Yeah. He's spamming his insight button. Like he's like in another D&D game, Eleander's like, I roll for insight. I roll for insight. And the DM's like, yeah, bro, I got it. I got it. You roll for insight. Yeah. So he says, well, apparently there was a group of cultists, also members of the Scarlet Brotherhood, operating out of the house. They uh they were killed. They were butchered. They were strung up like effigies.
What kind of a
Left.
demon did they summon?
Well, my men, and I use that term to describe men and women because we employ both, obviously. Um, my guards, they're pretty sure that agents of the Kraken Society uh, came and dealt with these people, whether that was to remove a rival organization or it was to remove them and send a message, or perhaps the Kraken Society was allied with them at one point and then um, things went sour. I'm unsure. You wouldn't know anything about that messy business at the house that crawls, would you?
Afro will look around fairly innocently, and it's the first we're hearing of it. Like maybe they heard something in town.
Yeah. Garuda, did you hear something in town?
Here's something about what in town.
All right, Garuda, go ahead and give me a deception check.
Ooh, so close to
Mm,
18.
mm.
So close to 18.
Yeah.
To be
So
fair, that is
Garuda's
Garuda's like personality.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he
yeah,
literally does
yeah.
it.
Garuda, you definitely come across as sort of like you're like piecing together schematics in your head for like how you could like maybe combo these guns into new guns and things like that. Waiting for your chance to turn in this handout, and you hear something. What about you, Garuda? And you're just like, der. Yeah, and Eleander kind of like narrows his eyes and kind of moves on, as it were, and he says, "Well, if um, if you've encountered one splinter cell and there's been another, perhaps that's the limit of what we're dealing with. That does not account for the evidence we found of Kraken Society um, in the area. Are any of you familiar with the Kraken Society?
Not with their society, but I did meet this crazy blue cleric once, and he ran off. I hardly even know him. He was always talking about some sea bitch. He may be the culprit you're looking for.
Well, the sea bitch is more than likely Umberly, who is an openly worshipped deity and deserving of. He sort of like chokes it out, some measure of respect. Uh, but the Kraken Society is a group of crazy radicals who worship and serve the Krakens of the deep. One in particular, um, and they're extremely nefarious. We're talking human trafficking, drugs, assassinations, manipulations of local governments, all sorts of nasty business. Did you find anything in the swamp that would link it to the Kraken Society? Any details you may have missed?
In the swamp? No, I don't think so. Well, I don't think I've had but beyond the blue guy, I don't think I've had a run-in with any Kraken members or even noticed their whereabouts, to be honest.
Interesting. All right. I understand that from the messenger that was sent upstairs that you have defeated the gnolls on the road. I guess it's a small thing compared to uh, tracking them back to their lair and taking out a much larger threat. Um, might I see the grisly proof of your deeds?
Yes, and Jenna would look at Garuda to pull out the heads.
I pull out. Wait, Jenna, why are you looking at me? It's more appropriate. Then I would catch on and just the nose. Yeah, and I pull them out and also pull out the troll head.
No.
We
Okay.
also did have a run-in with 2 trolls. Now that I see that, I do remember. In the swamp, we took them down as well.
2 trolls at once.
Yes.
Yeah.
We made some friends with some lizard folk who helped us out. I also did see some frog-like tracks, but certainly to be expected.
And this is where you lost your friend or ally, as Black Talon was saying. And Black Talon kind of clears his throat and says, forgive me. It was rude of me to put your business out there, especially since you at no point made mention of his death. I couldn't help but overhear your thoughts when we passed by. Uh, I guess we could call it a place of interest within the swamp. Your regret was palpable.
Can I insight when he said overhear my thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm suspicious that he's reading my fucking mind.
Yeah, go for it.
13.
I mean, Dude Bro just told you that he was reading your thoughts. So yeah, like you don't really need an insight check. Yeah, he told you he was reading your thoughts.
It is of no concern. It was a fight with 2 trolls, of course.
Rude.
I know, and I do apologize. You must understand that I had been rescued from a very near death experience, and until I was sure of the kind of people who were my rescuers, I felt that I needed to take every precaution.
That is fair. I would have done the same.
The ability to read minds is one of the gifts my patron has given me.
In my head, I would go, "Are you reading my mind right now?" Stare at him while.
There is no reply. So Eleander kind of frowns at this, and then he says to you guys, "Well, if you survive 2 trolls and took out an entire cell on your own. That makes you incredibly powerful, useful, and dangerous.
Uh, I quite imagined you would um, say that, and I expect suspicion. It is only fair. There's quite a lot going on in this town, and
There's a
we're
lot of
honestly
suspicion going around about you, madam.
sorry. What?
I missed speaking with you the other night, but you are the two women who were attacked at the leap.
That we were. Yes,
Hmm.
it's quite an awful experience. I wasn't equipped or ready to handle it.
And
And
attacked.
Afra will look over at Jenna and say, we had other things on our mind.
Yes, yes. Uh, it was explained to me thusly. And then a local businessman and politician whom you work for just happened to arrive before I did and take you with him.
I
I
will
mean, yes,
just shrug at that. I mean,
that is the fact of the matter. To be honest, sir, um, there's much going on in this town, very much, and we don't quite have a stake in it quite yet. Not anywhere. Was he an employer? Had we did speak with him for work. We are but adventurers, and
Is that
But
why
we,
you left town while there was an investigation going on as to a murder and went out into the Dunwater Marsh?
we
oh
went to
no, we I found a friend over at the festival, and we needed some money so that I could go get my friend.
Okay. That information is very strange and off-putting to him.
Love it.
And it definitely kind of knocks him off of uh his cop investigator vibe for a second, and he kind of turns his head and scrunches up his face. A friend? Are they? What are they? They holding someone hostage?
No, it's I don't know. It kind of looks like a whale, but it was real cute and it honked at me a lot, and so I wanted him.
Ah, I see.
one of the exotic animals she speaks of, um, that they were being sold, that they were selling.
Hmm. Uh, right. Your reward. I believe for the capture of all three, it was 500 gold. Is that correct?
That
That
it was.
is.
Okay. It's totally an NPC trap. He knows exactly how much it is. But anytime NPCs are like correct, they're totally testing you. So he says, well, your services went above and beyond the posted billet. We have some additional money available to pay out for bounties and the like. I am inclined to increase the reward by an additional 100 gold. Um, do you find that agreeable?
Just 100. I mean,
Yeah, so
we
500 for 3 gnolls and
Mm,
100 for about 20 cultists.
I know, but there was no um, job for the others.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, I
If
did
see.
I
you
if I was to offer to
Eleander,
pay my guards for an 8-hour shift and the guards worked 12 hours, am I obligated to pay them for 4 more hours when I did not ask them to do it?
Eleander, I think we both know the position that you're in, and I think we both know how valuable we could be to you. And I believe that fair compensation is in order. Um, you know us adventurer types. I believe you used to be an adventurer yourself. Um,
No, I
I
understand the need to dicker is strong in you because you're young and untested and you haven't made your fortune in the world yet. But trust me, the payment that you're receiving beyond the 100 gold is immeasurable. The
uh,
payment is my patience, my understanding. The patience is my willingness to move past certain things that may have transpired. The payment is my acknowledgement of your skills and talents and my interest in retaining them for future opportunities. But if those sorts of rewards are not to your liking, I can simply give you coin and part ways.
Jennifer's gonna try and subtly catch Lord Blackthorn's eye and kind of raise an eyebrow, like, do you think that's fair?
Blackthorn kind of looks at you and he shrugs. He's like super rich, so he doesn't really understand why you guys are upset about money. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna think real loud on the off chance that he's listening about how he said that he would reward us for rescuing him.
Yeah. So Black Talon does raise a clawed hand and he says, Eleander, the reward that you offer is generous. And I understand that your hands are tied in a bureaucratic sense of what sort of compensation can be made available for services rendered to the town. You certainly couldn't just pay out money to any group of ragabands who came in saying that they had taken care of this threat or that threat. It's completely understandable. Allow me to further compensate them for saving my life and the life of this fine warrior. He motions to the orc and the other surviving companion that made it. If that's all right, you know that my family is good for it, so I'll have money sent from Daggerford, perhaps an additional, let's just say 500 gold could start to repay them for my continued existence. And Eleander kind of nods at him and says, what you, a private citizen of Daggerford, decide to do with your money is your business. But as a family friend, I will front you the funds for that reward. That being said, the clerk will present you with 1,100 gold to compensate you for your efforts today. Truly a king's ransom in rewards, but the long-term benefits to the region will easily be made up for by those costs. You're fortunate that my friend Black Talon here is such a generous sort.
That we are. Thank you very much, my lord. Jenna says to Blackwater.
I am no lord, just a citizen trying his best to protect what he cares about. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's much to attend to with the festival closing down, and there's still a lot of loose hairs, loose ends. There we go. That need to be tied up. And he stands, puts both hands on the table, pushes himself away from the table, and he goes to head back upstairs. All right. A clerk comes forward, gives you a bag. The bag contains 1,100 gold in platinum. So that would be 110 platinum. All right. You hand over the heads. The troll head is yours, of course. Unless you want to give it to them, they'll gladly take it.
Nope, I'll take it back.
Okay. All right. What? Yeah. It is the hour is growing late. Do you rush through the rain to go get your sweet boy?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right. Yeah, so I guess I'll just take you back to the festival map for now. Though, yeah, it is hardly a festival at this point, because of the conditions and all of that. But yeah, you head back over to the festival, and you head on over to E's Animal Emporium, uh, and E is there.
Turtle. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's very cute.
Okay. And E sees you approach, his little shield golem out front sees you approach. You can see that the general mood of everyone there is very sad. Like the mood of the festival is very sad. This is unfortunately just part of the gamble that is festival life. Is yeah, like sometimes you just got shit weather and it just ruins everything.
Oh, I thought they were
Um,
sad because one of their fucking employees got
Oh,
murdered.
I mean, I'm sure there's that, but there's, like this is their livelihood. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's not nearly this many people. It's all just very sad. Anybody that's gone to like a Renaissance festival because they're open rain or shine on like a really rainy day, it's just people huddled around like pavilion tents, drinking. And so there is some like there is a bit of merriment in those small pockets, but the rain is so bad and the mud is like forming and everything, so people really aren't doing any fun festivities, but they have sort of strewn like tarps and tents and sort of thrown up extra cover for the rain, but yeah, it's pretty bad. That being said, they have someone with access to Druidcraft, so they knew the weather was going to be bad on the last day, so they weren't caught completely unprepared because magic. That being said, you go to E's Emporium, and E sees you coming. He rolls an intelligence check, and he says, "Oh, it's you. It's you. Cowabunga and well met, dudes. I see you just couldn't stay away from my asshole. I bet you were thinking about it. You were thinking about it the whole time you were gone. Every time you closed your eyes, you just saw my asshole, all black and shiny, and you were like, I gotta get me that. And I bet letting you touch it, that would have probably sealed the deal, didn't it? Am I right? Am I right? Touching my asshole's what sealed the deal. It's pretty moist. I know when you touched it, you were like, "Oh, that is a moist asshole," and you just couldn't stop thinking about it. I bet the smell of my asshole just lingered on your fingers, and like every time you went to scratch your nose, you were like, "I got to get that 500 fucking gold, so I can get that asshole."
And Afra's just gonna walk past and like toss him the 50 platinum. And
Oh yeah. And he
It's
starts
freaking
taking them out, and he's like chewing on them. He's like scratching them together to make sure it's not painted. And he's just like, "Oh, this is the good shit right here. Oh man. All right, yeah, get over there. Yeah, Bruiser. Yeah, get over there. Get that fat asshole out of here. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his fat ugly face again." And yeah, they release asshole into your custody.
I do not understand all this talk of assholes.
That's his name. The orca dog's name.
Sounds like a terrible name.
Yeah,
We did
he
name
is
him.
he is very wet. His cage has no cover, so the rain has just been hitting him like nonstop. Uh, but he has like an indomitable joy. So he's just sort of like looking up at the rain, and letting it fall into his mouth. And as he sees you approach, he just starts bouncing up and down in his cage, and he's just like honk, honk. And as they let him out, he comes to you, Afra, and yeah, he tackle you, and he gives you the licks. He weighs about 800 pounds, so you could die. Yeah, so that's a thing.
How big is this dogfish? I mean, dear God, 800 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a bona fide whalehound, dudes, from the sea of moving ice, far, 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 far to the north of here. I mean, that shit's so cold that I'll be honest, I don't even remember capturing this guy. I think I was in some kind of ice-based coma. What with me being cold-blooded and all that. But yeah, asshole's been with me for a while. He was a little guy when we got him. He's a big boy now. But yeah, I'm happy to have him off my hands. He eats a lot. He's just so much. He eats so much. He's so happy. I just get every time I look at him, it makes me just so angry. Just so get him out of here. Care and love instructions, because I am a professional. He eats about 40 pounds of meat a day. So good luck with that. He's got a real nasty bite. He's super friendly. So anybody that's nice to him will probably just wander off with him. So good luck with that. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. He's amphibious, so he can what is he amphibious? He can hold his breath for like a real long time. He likes the water. Don't take him to the desert. He'll die. Yeah, I think that's oh man, no desert. Feed him. Shit, I think that's pretty much everything, right? Water. That's it. Yeah, that seems like a thing something would need. Yeah, so there you go. Now you're ready to care for your fantastical beast.
Hey. And
also sales are final, no refunds.
That's fine.
Will he fight our enemies for us?
I mean, he'll do whatever you want if you hit him hard enough.
You say don't listen to him, and I'm going to say come with me.
I mean, that's really just everything in life, honestly.
What if you hit him?
Sounds like a real piece of work.
Yeah, this kobold runs up and is like, "Yeah, boss. Yeah, when you hit me, all I can think about is doing whatever you say, so you stop hitting me." Yeah, see, just like that. I think deep down, everyone's a fucking kobold in their heart. Yeah, I noticed you came across a lot of money real quick. Is there you interested in anything else? I got giant wolf spiders. I got giant wasps. I have a bona fide dinosaur. Huh? I got this baby mammoth I stole from its parents. It cries all the time. Over here. So your wolf bats. Huh? Anything? What do they say? Float your boat. Huh? Don't get too close to this cage unless you want to die. Yeah. Anything here at all?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Everything else tried to kill me.
As he passes the statue, he leans in and he gives her a lick on the cheek.
No.
And he's like, "Yeah, Sarah, we're on easy street now. We're making the real bucks. Yeah."
Crash, can I see if I know that thing that we found out?
It is super obscure knowledge. But if you can make an Arcana check of 20 or higher, you could recall having heard that fact.
21.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Jenna, yes.
You do recall seeing that, and maybe it's this new ring. I don't know, but you recall a little bit of trivia that you heard, and it is gross when you recall it, just to put it mildly.
Jenna is gonna walk up to the statue, and she's just gonna be like, "No one deserves this fate. I'm so sorry for you." And she's just gonna walk away.
All right, yeah. So you now are the proud owners of a big black asshole. So
Oh
what do
my
you
god.
do you want to rename
change
it?
that name.
I guess is a good question.
Yes. Can we please rename it?
Willie. My vote is Willie. I've thought about it.
Okay. Oh, nice. Going from the asshole to the penis. Good one.
Yeah, you're naming it a Big Black Willie.
Oh.
I mean,
I knew I liked you, short.
I'm
I knew I
so
liked you,
cringed
tall
right
halfling.
now.
I knew I liked you. Yeah. Yeah. So you lead Willie, who is wet. So you lead wet Black Willie away from his life in imprisonment. E is shouting after you. Yeah, it's the biggest Black Willie I've ever seen. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, why don't you give it a stroke? Huh? He likes it. Yeah, you give him a little stroke. He's all wet.
I turn
Your
around
hand,
and shoot
your
him.
handle, your handle rub up and down him real easy, if you know what I mean.
I don't
All
really
right.
know what's going on
So,
anymore. While we're here,
uh,
can I go talk to that firework guy, Crash?
yeah. Okay. You go to speak with this fella. The fella, as you go to speak with him, he definitely seems like he has a lot on his mind. All of his stuff is packed up. Everything is there's no fireworks out. There's no nothing. He's just kind of like sitting there sipping from a flask, has his feet up. He sees you approach and he kind of nods at you.
Or
I didn't think I'd see you again.
yeah, yeah, I was trying to go out and get the money for your knowledge, but fortunately, did not come up with all of it. Uh,
Hmm.
are you
All right
leaving
then.
now?
Still got 600 gold.
We're gonna leave in the morning.
We have like
Uh,
700, but we need
Yeah,
to talk about party fund manager.
yeah, yeah. Are we like
Bought a
split?
500 gold useless. I mean,
It's
pet.
not useless. He's got a lot of hit points to soak damage.
I mean, I thought we were gonna like split that
Uh,
up between the five of us, and that would be what, like
We
100
got
each
two
or some shit.
wizards and spell cost money.
this is definitely something that between this session and next session, you guys
Yeah.
should probably. I don't. No one's forced to make a charter, but my games where people have charters are definitely a lot more organized.
Well, we have a charter. We need to figure out
We
who's
had
the
one,
new
didn't we?
treasurer
Yeah,
because Locke was the treasurer,
right.
and
But the
I'm
guy
gonna
the guy
be.
says, while you guys are having this conversation, yeah, while you guys are going to have that conversation, the fireworks guy though says, do you need something?
Yeah. I was wondering if you'll be able to lower the price a little bit, or um maybe even stop by the empty net before you leave, because we do got a lot of goods I will be able to sell off, and once I get to sell off, I'm sure I have your money to get
I'd
that nice
like
little.
to. I really would. You're a cool. You're a cool guy, and it seems like a cool place. But Mr. Maggot doesn't want any of us going into town anymore. Says Saltmarsh ain't a good place,
Uh, um. Oh, what if
and
I
he seems very tight-lipped at that point.
tell you that I'm happy to come up with a array of weapons that you are interested in.
Okay, he kind of looks left and right, because firearms are super illegal in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
Um, and he's just like, I don't think it's anything I haven't seen before. But if you're looking to fence certain goods of an explosive variety, I could, under the cover of this heavy rainstorm, perhaps accommodate you.
Uh, yeah. How about have it come to a large amount of them, and I was going to use them for parts and try to figure my way around them. But with
And
your
you are just walking around town with these things, cartoonishly stuffed into your oversized backpack.
oh no, I'm not that stupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not that stupid. But
We left him at the inn with the one-eyed guy who's drinking himself into a stupor.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
the smart thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like he's willing to pay you basically half their listed value, um like a normal transaction would. But you, again, without like a rogue in the party that has like fence connections and
Underground
like
market
Thieves Guild and all that
things.
jazz, yeah, this would be your best bet to sell your stuff to this guy. Because if you were to open carry like a firearm, you would be arrested because they are illegal.
God, that makes it super hard to play gunslinger.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
like. I'm trying to.
but here's the thing though, if you're playing a demonic warlock, right, it would also be very hard to go around a civilized town and have all your stuff out in
Oh
the open,
yeah,
right?
I
So
once
it's
played a
yeah,
devil
yeah.
worshiper warlock, and that was
So
just not
it's
fun.
the same idea. Part of the fun of playing any a character that is living outside the law is the danger of being caught and having to kind of lead that double life. So you're pretty much on that. You are on that same list of like people who rely on some illegal items to get through their business.
Crash, how much do you want for the book? For like his book of knowledge?
Gosh, I think he wanted 500.
Was it? I
For
thought it
the
was
right
three.
for the book. Oh, for the book and the kit and
The tools.
and the
Yeah,
instructions,
yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah,
it.
he was
Yep,
going to give you the whole package for 500.
500.
Um,
Yeah,
uh,
we've
we'll
got
get it.
600, and that's not dipping into what we had before.
Um, yes. See what you can sell the guns for, and then yeah, get all that stuff. It's important for your class.
Uh, uh, yeah. How about Jordan? Yeah, come by the empty net, the cover in night. We can talk transactions and leave.
I'll do you one better. We're going to strike the site tonight. There's only going to be a handful of tents and wagons. Why don't you come by my wagon and we'll do the deal here. I'm not about to cross Mr. Maggot. So if you're really that interested, I'll be here till morning, and you're welcome to come speak with me here.
Okay. And with that, I'll
All right.
walk off.
All right. So that being said, you go off and do that. Anybody else need anything from the festival that's in the process of being shut down?
I want to hop on Willie and see if I can ride him. All of you shut up.
Okay, I gotta mute my mic for a second.
I feel like we're living out some young girl power fantasy. That's why we play D&D.
I feel like
All
we're
right,
Live your
I
dreams.
think I've put myself back together. All right,
It was the all of you shut up that did it to me.
all right. So, go ahead, and give me an animal handling check with advantage, because Willie is extremely accommodating individual. Yeah. All right. You approach Willie. Put your hand on him. His flesh is somehow cold and warm at the same time. Cold on the surface from the rain and from his hide, but there's a strong warmth right beneath the skin. You feel it beneath your hand. He is a warm-blooded creature. You feel strength kind of surging through him at all times. Uh, you whisper some comforting words to him, and he understands your intent. He gets down low to make mounting him easier. You using your nimble skills, you climb atop him, sitting astride the large, wet black willy. You feel taller and more powerful than you ever have before. Pleased to have physical contact with anyone that is not beating him, because this Willie got beat a lot, like daily. He lets loose a triumphant honk of joy and sort of prances around a bit. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You hold on to that dorsal fin, and you ride that willy as it kind of bucks and moves. And there's definitely a rhythm to it. Eventually, you get the rhythm down, and onlookers, you haven't seen a young lady ride a willy that big that well, maybe in your whole lives. The steampunk fireworks vendor, he kind of mops at his brow a little bit, even though it's like cold out. I'm not sure what that's about, and he just sort of drinks his entire flask in one go, watching the goings on.
Well,
Not sure what that was about.
I'll go ahead and ride him on back to the empty net.
Okay. All right.
I was going to speak with Prime Water.
Sure. Do you guys want to go by his house at night in the rain? If his mini's here, my bad. He's definitely not here. He's back, probably back at his house.
Yeah.
Okay. So all this is going on. Let's check in on our buddy over at the empty net. So it's okay with everybody? We jump over to the empty net real quick. See
Yeah, go
how.
for it.
I believe he can have a little bit of time on the stage.
Oh, jeez. All right. So back at the empty nets, Shanker is there. Shanker loves it when the weather's shitty because everybody has to do indoor activities, and that's how he makes his money is off indoor activities. So yeah, it is bustling. It is packed in there. Krebs sees you walk in, and he looks at you, Alvis, and he recognizes you. And yeah, he winces as he sees your face, and he says, with just a huge smile on his face, he says, somebody's had a exciting adventure. What can I get you, Alvis? Was it?
Yeah. Largest tankard you got of ale, and a pot of boiling wine, and a clean-ish cloth.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So he motions to the lady dwarf manning the bar, and says, "Yeah, I know we're busy, hun, but why don't you see if one of the girls could take care of him, huh?" And she just kind of grumbles, and she shouts at one of the waitresses, barmaids, kind of thing. Hey, go take care of him. And she they kind of a woman arrives. She is sort of a plain Jane, like human woman, and she is doing her best to not look terrified of your face and your condition. And as she approaches you, she has what looks like a tray, and the tray has wine, and it has cloth, and it has bandages, and there's some tools, and there is also a big flagon of ale or grog, probably, and also just a pewter mug with which to drink it from. All right.
So what Alvis is going to do is he's going to look at all the stuff there. He's just kind of going to set the pewter mug on the table. He'll actually take like the tray from her though, and he'll like set aside the pewter mug. So he's just got the tankard. He'll just drink right from the jug. He doesn't care.
Okay.
He's got
As
the
you
wine.
do, yeah, your face burns as some of the grog sort of sloshes out and gets into the wounds.
Yeah, he expects that, but you know, the more that gets down his throat, hopefully the less it'll hurt. But when he takes it, after he takes like one pull, he's just gonna look at her and he's just gonna be like, "I'll just be outside. Bring another one of these in 5 minutes."
Oh, yes, no, outside is good. Or if you'd like some privacy, I can take you to a room. Do you need a room, or is outside okay?
Outside first. Bring the second mug. If I'm already unconscious, take me to the room.
Yes. So here's the thing. You go ahead and drink this, and I'm gonna set this tray right here. I will be right back. Um, I will bring you something a bit stronger. Does that sound all right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He'll spin 2 gold across the table too.
Yeah.
He's figuring he might not be in a condition to pay in a couple minutes
Okay.
with what he intends to do.
Yeah. So she looks at you and she says, "Please don't, just drink. I'll be right back." And she hurries inside. Some people are sitting outside because it's like a swampy ass coastal area. There's people that love this shitty weather. They're out there smoking pipes and staring out into the rain and all that. An old man with a pipe kind of looks over at you, and he's got an eye patch. He kind of gives you like a bro nod, like he's been there. He knows what's up.
I'll like raise my tankard and be like, "Fine night, eh?"
Aye, fine night it is. Seems whatever's done happened to you is fresh.
As Elvis is like putting the clean cloth inside the boiling wine, he's just like, "Oh yeah, just earlier today, and then he'll like lift the cloth out. He's kind of like holding it from the top where he doesn't have the boiling wine on it. He kind of looks at the guy. And he goes, "Yeah, it's been a day, but I think that's about it now." And he's just gonna press the boiling hot soaked
Okay. Make
bandage
a
right.
medicine check with disadvantage.
Oh, that's fair. Do.
Yeah. So you end up dealing 5 points of damage to yourself.
Thank you, Afra, for temporary hit points.
Yeah, some of which may have even been psychic damage.
Ooh.
Of how badly you are treating yourself. You let out, I'm assuming, the cry
What
of
is our
pain?
bard doing?
Oh, yeah.
It's a mission.
Alvis would totally like. He let's put it this way: he will scream out in pain, until the pain subsides, unless he passes out. He fully expects to
Yeah,
pass
go
out.
ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, you pass out. You fall face first in the boiling hot bowl of wine.
That was not anticipated.
It flips up and all over you. The weight of your fall, you knock over the tray. The rest of the flagon is poured on top of you. All of the supplies clatter to the ground, and you are out. Well, that was a fast scene. Okay, cool. All right.
I have accomplished what I intended to this session.
Alrighty. All that being said, you guys, Jenna declares that she is going through the rain, the pouring ass rain, to go to Pridewaters Manor. He basically lives in the D&D equivalent of like a Miami drug lord mansion. So it's just a big, beautiful mansion right on the river. But you ask around like where he's at, and you realize that he lives at the location 16, this big old building right here. Yeah. So you head on over there as the rain continues to pound down around you. Does anyone else want to go with Jenna, or do you guys have different things you'd like to do? Garuda, what are you doing?
Someone go before me real quick.
Okay, Afra, astride your Willy, what do you do?
She's checking on her dogs. Give it a second.
Okay, Pietro. Yeah, these are some interesting people to be sure. They and promisingly, as a mercenary, they are quick to make money, and more importantly, they are quick to spend money. So this seems like a pretty good business opportunity for a mercenary, because these people are loose with their wallets. So yeah, like maybe I don't know. They definitely have history with the town guard captain, which is a little crazy. But I don't know. Like it's up to you at this point. What do you want to do? You want to go with them, or you want to go off on your own, explore the town? Like it is nasty ass weather. More than likely, you're gonna want to be indoor wherever you go.
We'll go where there is shelter and there's opportunities for business.
Okay.
I'm gonna
They
head
have
back to the. Sorry.
Oh yeah, they have mentioned many times a place called the Empty Net, which that Farios guy described as a shithole, which in your personal experience means a place where mercenaries can find work. And it looks like Garuda, the Arakara sharpshooter, is going that way also. So the two of you could travel together.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you guys travel. Yeah, it is basically a straight shot from here. You would go down the road. You see a very interesting bridge spanning the waterway. I'm going to kind of reiterate this stuff because we've got some newer people here just to kind of give them a feel for the town. The bridge seems to be a combination of dwarven and elven construction that incorporates the actual land itself into the build. So there are a great number of buildings and plants and trees that kind of are a part of this structure. So it's a weird combination of city structure and natural sort of vibe that is this big bridge that spans the two parts of Saltmarsh. You continue to make your way through the town, eventually making your way to the Empty Net, which normally is just mobbed by like hookers and hobos of all walks of life. But tonight, with the really nasty weather, there is only a handful of them, and they are sort of like curled up like stray dogs under any sort of like cover they can get from the rain. The place reeks of like rotten meat, bad fish, uh, disease. It is a cesspit. It is nasty. I think I got a picture of it for you. Yeah, I just flashed it before. That's the dude that owns it, and then it's sort of built out of like busted ass like ships, and it is out over the water of the waterway. So the whole thing is on elevated stilts and out over the water. Alrighty. Um, I guess I can move you guys over to that map real quick. Might be good. Let's see. I'm gonna assume that Afro went with you guys as well. With
Jenna was gonna ask her to go with her to Water.
Yeah.
oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So the two of you will go to the Empty Net, and inside the Empty Net,
Perhaps they could take Willie with him. I don't think we should bother Water with such a beast. I mean, friend.
Sigh and say, fine. I'm gonna give him a little kiss on his cheek, and I'm gonna say, go with them. Go get you
Okay.
some dinner and a nice place to sleep.
This is the kind of dog that will jump out the window of your car to get into somebody else's car at a stoplight. Like that's how, yeah. So like it's no problem for Willie. Willie's just like, "Honk," and like just starts following Garuda instead.
Okay, Willie.
All right.
My name's
Uh,
Garuda. I'm like having a full conversation with this thing.
sure, yeah. Let's see. Empty
Uh,
Net.
yeah,
Well,
and
hopefully there's no fighting going on. Since the party's kind of split, I'm gonna just stay on the main map for now.
yeah.
But if something comes up, we can have to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Afra on the way there. Like basically, like So I'm thinking the angle we take for why we went to the guard is essentially kind of like a clear our name, build trust with them again type angle. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm gonna be
That we
honest.
felt like we had to,
After
but
meeting with Iliander, I want to fucking kill him. That's just me though. I don't quite like him. The Dragonborn, he seems like an alright dude, but I fear that our paths lie against each other. Um,
yeah. And
I,
I can tell you that Eleander did not much care for you either, so I do
Oh,
not think that will be a.
yeah, I could tell. And the thing, I just I didn't want to put all of our chips in one pot, and now I know that I don't want my chips in his pot.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to fucking kill him, but that's just me.
We probably should not until we have much more power in this town.
Oh, I know, I know. I'll tread cautiously. I do believe going to him was still right, because now at least I don't feel like we have to worry about the whole murder thing anymore.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, let's
Hopefully,
see what.
Leander doesn't mind us disturbing him this late.
Yeah. How late is it, BT Dubs?
At this point, it's only about 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Then it's not that bad.
We'll just annoy him by interrupting his dinner.
Right. Right.
I mean, we bring important news that I'm sure he would want wind of right away. That's the only reason why I think we should go now.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
believe, if you believe it'd be better to wait till the morning, please speak up. I very much value your opinion.
No, no, we can go today. We can go today. I think that will be fine.
All right.
Okay. So, I don't have the art for Prime Order uploaded. So, or for I have for him, but not his house because I didn't know if you guys were gonna head over there or not. So let me do that real quick. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah. So Prime Order's mansion. It's pretty nice.
Huh.
Yeah. So as you arrive over at Prime Water's estate, as it were, he has personal security, obviously. Dude has money. Not only does he have like personal security in the form of what appears to be just guards. The guards do wear sort of an informal uniform, which is basically some browns with some blues. Seems to be the general theme. Kind of like Target's like, yeah, everybody wear a red shirt or something, uniform. Like that's kind of the deal. Like none of them have like the exact same standard issue military style guard uniform, but they all have like browns and blues as their colors. So he also has with these guards they have guard drakes, which is very interesting. Guard drakes are a
I'm sorry, they
type
had
of
what?
dragon. Guard drakes,
Okay.
yeah, which is a type of dragon. A drake is a wingless dragon. So basically, they look like this.
I rolled 20. Messed it.
Okay.
1 sec. Sorry. You can keep going.
Sure. And yeah, so these are large, like, well, not large. Sorry, they are pushing the boundaries of medium, uh, Jeremy Crawford style. So they're very, very big, medium-sized creatures, and they are quadrupeds. They are scaly, and they look pretty ferocious. There is one for each of the two guards that are standing watch out front of the place, and you can see warm light coming from many of the windows of the house. Lamplighters have lit the oiled street lamps out along the street and the property, and they sputter and flicker as rain kind of fights its way into the glass and iron enclosures, trying to put out the flames. Uh, yeah. So the guards see the two of you, and they are, because you're not trying to stealth or anything, and they kind of nod in your general direction.
Um, Good evening, good sirs. We are associates the of Mr. Primewater, and we were wondering if he would be interested in meeting with us. We have information that we believe he would find very valuable at this time. My name is Jenna, and this is Afra.
Okay. They kind of they both sort of look at you. They have that everyman kind of look to them, of being just very nondescript. And the one says, "It must be pretty important business for you to be out this late at night." Well, I shouldn't say the hours. The problem. He just kind of motions at all the rain that's just coming down in sheets.
Yes, we believe he would want to be privy to this information as soon as possible.
Uh-huh. Well, I will yeah, hold on a moment. And knocks at the door. Eventually, a servant comes, answers the door. He has a hushed conversation with the servant. The servant appears to be a woman, a very small woman. Dare I say a gnome? Question mark. Yeah. So, yeah, that's and then she says something, and the guy says something back. Does anybody want to um, listen in on this conversation, or do you just sort of let it transpire and see what happens?
Certainly take a listen.
Okay. Yeah, basically says, you know, must be important, weather, blah blah blah. Um, and then she says, well, they finished their meal. Um, I'll ask, blah blah blah. So very exciting conversation. They close the door, comes back. Again, this whole process takes about 10 minutes. You are like at least covered from the rain, like on this like front porch sort of situation. And eventually the door opens.
Yeah, Jenna would
And
prestidigitation all of the like excess water off of myself and Afra.
oh, okay, while you're waiting.
So we
Smart.
look, yeah, so we look presentable.
Okay. So time passes, and eventually the door opens, and you see a small gnomish woman before you. Ugh. Yeah, as she kind of looks at all of you. Let's see. Yeah. She seems to be older. I guess like Angela Lansbury if she was a gnome is kind of like what we're dealing with. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it's
I don't
Angela
even know
Lansbury
who's
as a
Angela
gnome.
Lansbury.
Oh wow. Let me go to my retirement home real quick. Yeah. So she's an old, iconically old, cool lady from the 80s, basically.
She wrote.
Mrs. Potts.
Yeah. The lady who played Mrs. Potts.
I don't know what Mrs. Potts means. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Wow.
Mary Poppins,
Now,
you uncultured swine. Come on.
Mrs.
well,
Mary
not Mary
Poppins?
Poppins.
No,
but
not Mary
No, no,
Poppins.
You're calling me a culture? You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, Mrs.
Yeah.
Wasn't Mrs. Potts in Mary Poppins? Am I wrong?
No.
no.
Oh,
That's
I'm
Beauty
sorry.
and
Oh my god.
I am the uncultured swine. I apologize.
All right. No worries. I'm just gonna go walk into the ocean now. So that's just cool.
I don't know.
So basically, you see a kindly old woman who is a gnome. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And she definitely has a matronly sort of vibe about her. Like this is the den mother sort of thing. Like she definitely keeps the house sort of deal. All right. And yeah. So she says, "Oh, hello there. Are you said you're here to meet with the master of the house?"
Yes, we are employees of his.
Oh, he has many employees. Certainly, they've just finished supper. They're enjoying some keef, can't ever remember. Uh, the brown bean juice that he loves so much that comes from across the seas. And I can show you in if you'd like.
Please, we don't mind waiting. We don't want to disturb him at all.
Of course, of course. All right. So you are led into a dining area, wherein, gosh, yeah, you see Prime Water, and a very noble-looking woman is there as well. She has uh, a very noble sort of appearance to her. She's quite lovely, like a little bit older, than the rest of you, but definitely younger than Prime Water. And you take this to be perhaps his wife, that or girlfriend, or who knows for sure. But she definitely takes the measure of these two ladies, who have arrived to mysteriously dry, to visit with her husband. He for his credit, he doesn't seem in any way perturbed by this at all. He's just kind of like, whatever. Like, it doesn't seem like he has anything to hide or anything to be ashamed of. He motions at the table, and there are two seats available. This is one of those like ultra rich person situations where like this dining room could accommodate like 50 people, and like the two of them are eating at one end of the table. Like, it's got that awkward richness to it. Like, why don't you guys just have like a little like kitchenette area to eat when you don't have company? Because it's really stupid to like use this big ass room for two people kind of deal. A fire blazes in or fires blaze in two different fireplaces, that kind of keep the room heated and whatnot. And other than the two of them, there's no one else there, and the table is really only set for the two of them. Um, yeah, they both are just kind of looking at you expectantly as they motion to nearby chairs for you to sit.
Yeah, sit down and um,
Kind
maintain
of
a good
do a
posture
slight
and etiquette.
bow at the lady, and Prime Water. We have just had some adventures and wanted to keep you apprised of the situation. We,
Yes, thank you for meeting with us.
yes, we do appreciate it, especially this late. We certainly don't mean to interrupt a quiet evening at home. Um, we,
As you say that, the two of them smile, and he takes her hand in his and sort of rubs his thumb along the back of her hand, and she smiles at him, and he smiles at her, and they both smile at you.
um, we set out quite early yesterday morning to hunt some gnolls for the town guard, just as a way of hopefully gaining some funds, and also perhaps getting an in to their secrets. And we found and killed the gnolls, and we also found a company, a cell, I guess you could say, of the Scarlet Brotherhood, and we eliminated them. We as well discover as a captive an agent of the Daggerford lords, and we considered bringing him here to you, but we just unfortunately could not.
The second we got to the town, he went straight to the guards and announced who he was. It no longer seemed plausible to just bring him straight here, so we went along with the ploy.
The woman says, that must have been Black Talon.
Yes, that was his name.
He was expected. And then that's all she says. It's very creepy.
Yes, yes, and he is and he's now arrived in the city and rendezvoused with Iliander.
I have to say that when I stuck my neck out for you, uh, I didn't think that the first thing you did would be to help Eleander's efforts.
Oh,
It,
you
it was.
had
Go ahead.
we were, thinking that you, of course, wanted the Scarlet Brotherhood taken care of as well, and we intended to give you all the credit.
I see.
Um,
Yes.
Unfortunately, discovering Black Talon not to happen anymore, and we do regret that quite deeply.
You see, we weren't even quite sure who the Dragonborn was. Um, he didn't speak his name or his titles until we reached the guard.
Hmm. The woman says, that makes sense. Any true noble would any with any sense would keep their nobility a secret, lest it be used against them. Only a fool brags upon titles.
Yes, and I fear he is no fool, from what I have measured of him.
No, he's not. I didn't think. I thought with the death of his father recently, he would have canceled his trip. But I guess if he's in town, that could be an issue. Said that he has exceptional powers of uh, deduction.
Yes, he did say something about reading
Yeah, he did
minds.
speak of, yes, mind reading.
Well, that's fucking great.
Hmm.
It's a shame the cultist couldn't have dealt with him. But do you feel that this person trusts you?
That's that's one good thing we believe have come of this. We believe he trusts us very much. We saved his life. We put on a facade of heroic captors, um, and even Iliander, though I could tell he does not quite take a liking to me after what had happened. It seems he's willing to put the whole situation behind us. So we'll no longer have that breathing down our necks. It seems.
That was a hard thing to manage, let me tell you. The festival was my idea. I thought the town could use a bit of joy. It's a shame they showed up so late, and the last day was ruined by this weather. Uh, but Eleander was going to try and leverage the death and the possible disappearances as being a side effect of allowing the carnival, as it were, folk into the town without properly vetting them first, etc., etc. And that's why Saltmarsh is such a lawless town, and it needs Daggerford's help. Blah 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 blah. Fortunately, the way that they bungled the entire investigation, they seem to have kind of played the whole thing out very quietly, so as not to embarrass anybody as a result. That being said, the festival ends damp and lame rather than with the big boom that I was anticipating. Regardless, the people seem happy enough about it, distracted from their worries for a few days at least. So that was good. I have to ask, how fared your group? I only see the two of you. I was under the impression that you were part of a larger party.
We lost two. We encountered two trolls on the while following the Knoll encampment, and that is when we lost the turtle known as Luck. And while storming the keep, that is when we lost the Dragonborn. But to be quite honest, the Dragonborn was a liability. He didn't use his head, and he just charged in, and it, we're honestly probably better off without him. He's too risky.
We have picked up a few new allies as well. Quite a diligent-looking half-orc, as well as a diviner who could come in quite handy if he manages to hang on to his sanity.
As you say half orc, this woman says, "Oh, half orcs are an intriguing species, to be sure."
Out the shade. Okay. Want to come inside though.
And that's all she has to
Yes.
say on it.
Yes, very. Um, though I do have some better news. We can be perfectly frank with each other. I believe that is how our will better operate together. It is
Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, I'm Frank, and this here's Francesca. Emotions to the woman.
Jenna like gives him one of those like, haha, good one. Um, and she's like, um, it would only make sense for us to have our suspicions of the loyalists and the whole situation in the town, and I can quite honestly say, to hell with the Lord's Alliance. I will do whatever it takes to bring them down.
Are rather snooty.
That they are. They don't understand the salt part of Saltmarsh. This is a town made by the people, a town for the people. I mean, Ida, she definitely says it better, but I stand by her, and I stand by her desires for Saltmarsh. It sounds like if the two of you are running things and you can keep your murderous impulses in check, and hopefully a steady paycheck will do that, you could be very useful in the events that are going to unfold moving forward. Something you do need to know is that my dearest Ida is she is the first snow of winter and the first blossom of spring. She is rough and rowdy. She is tough. She is salt of the earth and one mean bitch when she needs to be. But she is a good person, and I do not want her dragged through this. She has made it over 60 years and a brief career as an adventurer without sullying that purity, that spark of innocent goodness. And that is my favorite part about her. And I don't want that to any way be jeopardized by what we will need to do to ensure the continued safety of this town.
We can
Yes.
certainly keep her out of it.
And you can certainly rely on us.
Now, that being said, she will be involved in the process, as she has been thus far.
We,
But
you may have noticed that we have no problem keeping our secrets.
Excellent. Well, I have information for you that would be, well, I have a job for you. The House That Crawls. I'm well aware of what actually transpired there. The story that's being told is that an organization known as the Kraken Society, who does have operatives weekly operating out of my, out of the city, is to blame. And that's great. Let them chase tentacled shadows all they want. However, there was a ship operating in these waters, and the ship does, or at least did, use the house that crawls as one of its drop points and pickup spots. I need a team to go there and pose as members of the Scarlet Brotherhood and gain access to that ship. I need that ship commandeered. As a reward for commandeering that ship, I will make sure that the papers are correct and the paperwork is filed so that the people I hire for this particular job are the proud co owners of said ship and full fledged privateers of the city of Saltmarsh.
As he's saying this, Jenna's just got like the biggest grin. Like you couldn't have said anything more than what she wanted to hear.
I'm
And
also grinning and like elbowing Jenna, like, yes.
this is what we wanted.
Time is of the essence. I know the weather is poor, but perhaps it would be appropriate to hide your exit from town from Eleander and his snooping guards. If you could return to the house that crawls, I will provide you with a small jolly boat you can use to travel up the coast. I assume one of your crew is proficient with such vehicles. You'll make your way to the sea caves beneath the house, and from there you will follow the instructions that are provided so that you can better gain access to this ship. This is a stakeout of sorts. It could be tonight, it could be days from now, but I believe that the location has not been compromised too badly. They may return. If not, I will compensate you for the time that you spend there, and a little bit of time out of the town might do you some good as far as me being able to ensure that any outstanding investigations are put to rest.
Sounds very good. I do have one concern, if you don't mind
So,
me posing it.
sweetheart, are they to be pirates then? Says his I guess sweetheart. And he turns to her and he holds her hand tighter and he says, "Dear, we say privateer nowadays. Privateer." And she says, "Ah, privateers then. Yo ho and a bottle of rum." And he smiles. He smiles at her, and she smiles back at him, and he says, "Yes, that is the goal, my sweet." Okay. And she turns to look at all of you, and she says, "It is good that the worms have not consumed you." And then she just breaks off a piece of her biscotti and dips it in her coffee.
And Daphra's a little creeped out.
Can I insight the worms have not consumed you?
Yeah, sure. Some hot rolls
Natural
tonight for
20.
Jenna. Was that like your 15th one tonight? Something like that?
It's been pretty good
Yeah.
today.
Your best estimate is that this woman is insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Jenna's probably insane herself. Um. Yes. So I did have one concern, if you did not mind me fielding it. Um.
Of course, of course.
We currently have, myself included, 2 wizards in our employ, and I have heard rumors of how magic is currently being handled and brokered in this town, and I fear.
I see. I see. You're worried about retribution from our local wizrobe. Is that the problem?
Yes, that, and if we could
Uh,
even gain access
he
to
and
this
he and I go
resource.
way back. I'll inform him that you are working for me, and you should wake up tomorrow morning.
Very good. Do you know if he's one to um help budding young wizards?
Ha. Kelidek, I'll be honest, is not the sort of individual that takes on apprentices in a meaningful way. So, unless you want to be used and mistreated and ultimately tossed aside, Kelidek isn't really the wizard for you.
Yes, I'm not quite looking for apprenticeship, more just access to spells I've yet to master.
Yeah. I have been meaning to talk with Kelidek about the Scarlet Brotherhood incursion, since he is from Kalisham. Figure he might know more about it. Um, he's a difficult man to deal with, but he and I are close, and I'm sure we'll come to some sort of agreement. Is there something that you need from him or from the arcane arts that he is making unavailable or inaccessible to you?
I have not yet spoken with him due to the rumors.
I doubt you have. He only speaks to those he wishes to speak with.
But there are some spells I've heard of that I have my eye out for.
Would they be needed for the achievement of the mission I am about to assign you?
They would definitely be very beneficial and would greatly increase our chances of success.
Time truly is of the essence here. Could you tell me what they are, and I could have a courier bring them to you at the house that crawls? I'd much prefer you begin the stakeout immediately.
Yes, I can give you a list. Do you mind if I just send you a list of this one?
I make no guarantees, especially given the time that it's taking. And of course, the street value of any of these materials or spells will be taken out of your group's total pay.
Yes, that is very fair.
All right. His wife sets down her teacup and says, "Often the greatest compensation is seeing each new day."
That it is, my lady. Yikes.
All right. He says, "Excellent. I assume Shanker is taking good care of you. I will have a package delivered. It will have all of the information that you need. I understand that you will be able to make sense of it, Lady Afra." And
Of course.
he says this to you in Thieves' Cant.
Yes, of course.
So for Jenna, he basically says to Afra, "Will this rain ever let up? Only you would know." And so you understand it as the actual intention. Because Thieves' Can, again, it isn't another language; it's a way of
Like code.
abusing. Yeah, it's a way of abusing normal language to get your point across. At least the verbal part of it is, and then of course there's the runes and all the other crazy stuff. It's very spycraft. It's very very spycraft. Okay, so with that, he bids you guys adieu. That was
Excellent.
a whole lot of shit that went down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys will receive information. Basically, it tells you the name of and the location at the docks where you could find the jolly boat that has been issued to you. It is absolute horseshit weather to be trying to operate a ship along the Sword Coast. Keep in mind, the Sword Coast is like the Pacific Northwest of North America. So the water is cold. The coastline is rocky. It is called the Sword Coast because the sharp ass rocks that line the coast reminded people of swords. So this is a deadly and dangerous place to be trying to operate out of. So hopefully one of you has proficiency with water vehicles. because getting this little boat there in this rain is going to be extremely difficult. But the
Former
general
pirate.
gist of it is he wants you to go there. He wants you to. There's basically a lantern included with oil for the lantern. It is a shuttered, hooded lantern, and there are instructions on. You're basically waiting to see a lantern light shining from a group of rocks south along the coastline, known as the Kraken's Teeth. When the ship in question, which goes by the moniker the Sea Ghost, when the Sea Ghost is in the area, it will flash a lantern signal towards the house that crawls. If they do not receive a response in a timely fashion, so it's really only like a 10-minute window or so, they leave. If they do receive a response, the responses that you could send back via Morse code essentially are it's safe or it's not safe. So if you tell them it's not safe, they would leave. If you tell them it's safe, then they make arrangements basically for you to come out with your jolly ship and bring them goods. Now, here's the problem. Samblanet, the mage who was in charge of that operation, he did escape. So the question here is, has the whole operation been compromised? Do they know that this has happened? Or did Samblanet cut and run? You guys don't know for sure. So there is sort of this, they A, might be expecting you. They B, might feel that the whole thing is compromised and never come, in which case you're going to spend, I don't know, like 3 days or more being paid to just stare out at the sea. Or did they are they none the wiser? They swing by and you guys essentially have to come up with a strategy for commandeering an entire ship. So that's kind of crazy. So that's stuff that that's stuff that you guys are going to need to think about. But that is the general gist of his package. Is that. So definitely during the week, strategize what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, all that. I mean, not everything you're going to do, but basically kind of spitball some ideas of what you should do next. I am assuming, of course, that you are going to take this contract, and therefore that is what I will prep for next week's session.
Yeah.
Yeah? Does that sound about right for everybody?
That's my plan.
Okay. All righty. That being said, we are 30 minutes over time, but it was enjoyable, and it also puts you guys in a good position for your next adventure. I do need to ask Pietro de la Vega, are you interested in sticking around, or are you like, man, this sucks, and you got other stuff to do on your Sunday morning? Like, what's the?
I'll keep going.
I'll keep going. Okay, cool. All right, and sorry if there was not too many opportunities for your character to kind of jump in and get stuff going on. There was a lot of like loose ends for like quest.
I get it. It's old business needs to be tied up.
Yeah, from this point forward, everybody's kind of on the same page, I feel. So like a lot of it's been sort of like mischief managed kind of deal. All right, cool. Hope everybody enjoys their Sunday, and I will send out XP for role playing and all that good stuff, and also I believe XP for killing all those cultists and stuff. Yeah. So let me get all that sent out to you guys.
Are we gonna get a long rest before we head out, or are we supposed to like head out right away?
Here's the thing. I have on the calendar dates when the ship is supposed to swing by. So everything is just entirely based on the calendar. So he wants you to leave immediately. Because I mean, what employer doesn't want you to just get right to work? That being said, if you guys come up with some other way of doing it, that's fine. It really just is, are you guys there on one of the nights when the ship comes by? Then you'll get to see the signal. If you're not there, then you won't. Yeah, it's not super scripted. It's very sandbox. You know what I'm saying?
It also sounds like the only person in the party that knows how to operate a ship is currently passed out And
Oh no, Jenna has expertise.
Yeah, I think all of us do.
Aquatic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think all of us
No,
got.
I don't.
We started this game to be pirates, not land, not land sailors. Like,
Yeah.
All right. So sounds like you guys have a lot to think about. So yeah, let me calculate the XP and post it up, and everybody enjoy your Sunday, and then we will
Yep.
continue this next week.
sounds
Oh,
good.
All right.
good session, guys.
Yep.